We send you greetings from St. Louis, Missouri, inside of Busch Memorial Stadium right here. It's the gateway to the West. And tonight, it's a battle of the Midwest. Once again, the Milwaukee Brewers going head-to-head with the St. Louis Cardinals right here on Fox Sports Net. Hello there once again, everybody. Standing beside my partner, Bill Schroeder, I am Darren Sutton, and you heard about it in the tease to our broadcast tonight. We're in a bit of a quandary here, partner, because we need to know who is on first. And I guess I should ask you first, as we stand in front of the legendary Jack Buck. I know he knows who is on first. Do you know who's on first?
Mark McGwire plays first base for
No. Mark McGwire does not play first base anymore. He retired this past winter. Brewers fans know that Richie Sexton's on first. Will be for a long time. It's St. Louis. Who's on first in St. Louis?
I don't know. If Mark McGwire's not here, why are we here? I come here to St. Louis to see McGwire.
Okay,
if
well,
McGwire's not here, forget it.
Right, I understand that, but Mark McGwire's not on first anymore.
Then who's on first?
Right, that's what I'm asking you. Who's
I'm prepared for McGwire. If McGwire's not here, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, then who's on first?
I don't know.
No, I don't know is on third. Who is on first?
I don't know. They have a new first baseman? No kidding?
I don't know plays third. Who's on first?
Polanco.
All right. I'm done with you. I know Mr. Buck knows. Let's get to some Cardinals fans because these are knowledgeable baseball fans. My partner was no help to me. Do you know who's on first?
I don't know who's on first.
No, I don't know who's on third. I've already gotten that answer. Do you know who's on first?
I think it's Mark McGwire.
No, see, it's not Mark McGwire. He hit a lot of home runs, but he's not on first anymore. Do you know who's on first?
Yes, I do. It's Tino!
Oh, Tino Martinez is on first. Finally, we have the answer. Tino Martinez has replaced Mark McGwire, and he's very happy about it.
These guys have been in the playoffs last year, and they've had a couple good years before that, and they're always in contention, and I know that they want to win the World Championship here.
Always a good stop when you come to St. Louis. Hop on a riverboat, maybe play some cards, enjoy yourself on the Mississippi River as we get you ready for baseball. Along with Bill Schroeder, I'm Darren Sutton. Glad you're back with us. And I think, first of all, I owe a big word of apology to Abbott and Costello, my tease. That was horrific. All my impressions were bad, but
nah,
at
you
least
did
we
fine.
tried.
You did fine. You know, what do you expect?
I don't expect a lot when I'm copying that type of humor.
Exactly.
On the serious side, Tony La Russa will not be managing the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. He has gone to Florida to be with the rest of his family. He has lost his father. So Tony La Russa has lost his father. You see Jose Akendo and Dave Duncan, two of the coaches there. They'll handle the bulk of the duty.
Yeah, well, Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, will certainly handle all the responsibilities regarding pitching changes and whoever is going to be getting up in the bullpen. Jose Akendo made out the lineup, and I'm sure he'll be talking about doing some pinch hitting and things like that, positioning. So I don't think it's going to be much of a big problem for the Cardinals.
Well, we talk about the starting pitching in this series, and you think about what may happen with the Brewers. There's a little bit of pressure, I think, on Ruben Quevedo and Jamie Wright, because the other three now, their mates, if you will, have been putting the pressure on. What do you see in those matchups?
Well, I like Ruben Quevedo tonight because I think he wants to atone for a little bit of the problems that he had in his last start. Garrett Stevens is coming off elbow surgery. Not sure how long he's going to be able to go. And you know Jamie Wright wants to really have a good outing. He really struggled. Anytime, you know, he had a slow spring training, you know that he's going to be coming out, wanting to come back with a little bit of a vengeance. But how can you have any pressure on you when you're not facing the kind of the pitchers that the Brewers are facing in Arizona? Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. Anything's easier than those two guys.
Davey Lopes before the game called them superhuman, said he's glad that he won't see them again until September. All the action, the lineups, and the first pitch from St. Louis right around the corner. Stay with us on the net, Fox Sports News. Oh, they grill sausages all around baseball. It's the best thing in the Midwest. We love it in Milwaukee as we welcome you back to St. Louis. Just about ready for baseball action. Garrett Stevenson warming up on the mound. Davey Lopes has put together a lineup card that he hopes can beat Garrett Stevenson tonight. And Lopes, of course, will send this lineup to the field. Leading off is Eric Young. Young will bat first and be the second baseman. Belliard, Hammonds, Sexton, Jenkins, and Ochoa. You see what Hammonds has done out of the gates. He's been someone you can lean on. Hernandez, Casanova, and then Ruben Quevedo, the Tires Plus starting lineup as we get things going. Bill, We talked about Garrett Stevenson, you and I, before we came on the air. Not a lot to know about him last year. He missed all of last season after having his elbow reconstructed. What do we know about Garrett Stevenson this year as we take a look at our Hyundai scouting report?
Yeah, well, he's not a hard thrower. He's not going to overpower too many hitters. He's got a great changeup. That's his best pitch. Changes speeds very well. He'll sink the fastball. He works both sides of the plate very well. At least he did a couple of years ago when he won 16 games for the St. Louis Cardinals. And as we mentioned, not sure about how long he's going to be able to go in this ball game coming off surgery. Missed all of last year and got roughed up a little bit in his first start.
70 pitches. April the 3rd against Colorado. You saw the numbers. He was touched up. Right-hander out of Tacoma Park, Maryland. Now makes his home in Idaho. That's where he played collegiately. And we're ready to go here in St. Louis. The first pitch to Eric Young. Misses outside. 1-0 the count. We're underway tonight. We're sure glad you're with us. Bill Schroeder, Craig Kashawn, and I'm Darren Sutton. On the outside corner, he paints the black. EY would love to be off to a better start. 0-95 out of the gates, no homers, 1 RBI. That's a 2 for 21 clip. Takes a pitch low and inside. The movement there on the fastball evident early. Garrett Stevenson will get that fastball not really close to 90 miles an hour in the high 80s, but a lot of good movement.
And that's what he relies on and working the corners. He gets too much at home plate, he's in big trouble. You can see with his line we showed you a minute ago, he got a lot of home plate in that first start. It's very important for the Brewers to take advantage early in the game against Stevenson. Do not allow him to get any confidence.
The Brewers are well aware of the changeup that he throws as well, and they'll try to stay back. Well, Eric Young is hit by a pitch right there in the elbow, and it almost looked like he was hit by a tennis ball because he's fine. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals defense. As Garrett Stevenson not real happy that Young didn't move out of the way as we go around the horn defensively. Tino Martinez is the first baseman. Former Brewer Fernando Vina is at second. At third base, Albert Pujols. The shortstop, Edgar Renteria. Eli Marrero in left. Jimmy Edmonds, one of the best in center field. J.D. Drew is in right, and Mike Matheny, the catcher, is behind the plate as we go around the horn. Ronnie Belliard, number 2 hitter, with a runner on first, squares the bunt, takes high and in.
Now, as you mentioned, EY off to a bit of a slow start. He on first base. You know that he wants to take off in this situation. Garrett Stevenson, big, tall, 6'5", 210 pounds, high leg kick, but Mike Matheny throws extremely well.
Concerned with Young, the tag, you see it applied by Tino Martinez, the former New York Yankee. Filling the big shoes here in St. Louis. He replaced Don Mattingly in New York. Now he replaces Mark McGwire in St. Louis.
Piece of cake. Did it once, you can do it again.
Right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, and after a while, when he was in New York, it didn't take too long for New York fans to say, Don who? Tino Martinez, outstanding both defensively and with a bat. Doubt he'll put any balls up there, though.
Fouled off at the plate. Matheny had that one rattle around and head towards the Brewers dugout. Well, you can say one thing about Tino Martinez, too, and you always have been able to say it. He's a class act. And classy fans here in St. Louis welcomed that classy man with a standing ovation prior to his first at-bat. I even got goosebumps watching on TV.
Yeah. Well, indicating to Tino Martinez that you're welcome with open arms here in St. Louis. We know it's not your fault that you have to place Mark McGwire.
On the outside corner, there's the late movement on that fastball. You think it's a ball, but then it's not.
Yeah, he starts it off the outside corner, a right-handed hitter, and it tails right back over and catches that outside edge. There's a good shot of it. Mike Matheny holding it right there for Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire. Right-handers cannot give up on the outside pitch. Lefties can't give up on a pitch that starts in on.
Well, Belliard, a guy, too, that goes the other way so well, and you would think even if he waited on it a bit, that's something he could handle. Jeffrey Hammond's a great start to the season. 385, a home run and RBI. They're very concerned with Eric Young at first. In center field, he's played center field and he has played right field. And he has played in right field when Alex Sanchez has been the center fielder. And Davey Lope said before the game, I still don't know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
I'm still holding tryouts, if you will.
You know, Davey's just trying to find that combination, and it's interesting as you look at the Brewer lineup tonight that you have a right-hander out there, and he's got all right-handed batters in the lineup essentially. You got the switch-hitting Casanova and Jeff Jenkins. Everybody else right-handed.
Into the dirt it goes. Is that because of the changeup being his #1 pitch? Maybe Davey thinking that, look, a changeup against the lefty could be deadly?
Well, I think a little bit of that, but I think more he wants to find a set lineup. Davey's been tinkering around with the lineup for the first week of the season. I think the time is now to say, here's my 9 guys, let's go get them and fill in with people later on.
High and outside, not even close from the right-hander Garrett Stevenson.
Belliard hadn't had a whole lot of playing time, and Tyler Houston's been predominantly playing third base. But you know, the Brewers aren't going to do a whole lot without the likes of Hammond's in the lineup every day and Alex Ochoa. Alex is swinging the bat very well, and I think that Davey wants to try and find that set lineup more than anything else.
Young marks his territory, and Hammond's hitter's count takes a strike right down the heart. 2-1 the count.
I think he was waiting for EY to take off on that pitch.
I think you're right.
Eric not getting a very good read on Garrett Stevenson because 2-1, an outstanding pitch to run on.
Still looking for that first steal, though, of 2002. There he goes. High, good pitch to throw down, and he throws him out. He had a good pitch to work with, did Mike Matheny. Young and average jump, I think he would tell you, but Matheny, you talked about it, he can throw it.
He's one of the best in the business. Mike Matheny, a Gold Glover from a couple of years ago. Very quick release. His throw is normally right on the bag. Now watch Fernando as this ball gets to second base. He goes right to the bag and literally just drops the glove right on second base. Getting a chance to see it, but believe me, he did it. Not going to get a whole lot of offense out of Matheny. He'll drive one out of the ballpark from time to time, but when you've got an offense like the St. Louis Cardinals have, you can afford to have a defensive specialist behind the plate.
Hammonds drives that one to right. J.D. Dew is on the run, and he runs it down. The Brewers got what they wanted, a leadoff runner, but they failed to score. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. By Checker Auto Parts. You can do it. We're here to help. By Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Pennzoil. We are driving protection. Well, several managers working tonight. Jose Akendo, who is coaching at third base right now. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, as well. Tony La Russa not able to be here tonight. A very important reason. He lost his father today, so he is going to be with his family, and he may not be with us the entire series. Vina, Renteria, and Drew out of the gates to face Ruben Quevedo, who on April the 3rd at Houston was touched up. He went just 3 1/3 and hit the wall hard. Allowed 4 hits only, but 8 runs, 4 earned. He had 4 walks, and for a command pitcher, that's something he'll tell you he shouldn't do.
Yeah, the bases on balls killed him in that game. Of course, a couple of errors didn't help either.
Fernando Vina, the former Brewer, leads it off with a 194 batting average, and he takes a ball outside. On the inside part of the plate, it's skied down that right field line. Ochoa marking it, making one heck of a play. 1 out. No space there on the foul line, but Ochoa ran that down. Let's take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Tires Plus. We talked about Vina, Renteria, and J.D. Drew. Then it's Albert Pujols, the reigning Rookie of the Year. Jimmy Edmonds off to an amazing start. Tino Martinez, Mike Matheny, Eli Marrero, more on him in a moment, and Garrett Stevenson. Edgar Renteria, the shortstop, takes a strike. 0-1. Good play in the corner over there.
Now the wind, what wind there is blowing directly across the field toward the right field line, and kept blowing that one into foul territory. But yeah, you talked about it. About 3 feet between the foul line and the stands out there down the right field line. Good play by Alex. Gentle breezes blowing off the beautiful Mississippi. We had an opportunity to hang out down there this afternoon.
Hernandez across the diamond, 2 outs. Let's take a look at that Milwaukee Brewers defense as we do go around the horn. Big Richie Sexton's the first baseman. The second baseman, E.Y. Eric Young. Ronnie Belliard has moved over to third this year. Jose Hernandez, the shortstop. Jeff Jenkins in left field. Jeffrey Hammonds is the center fielder for the Brewers. There he is. And in right field, it's Alex Ochoa. Behind the plate again, Raul Casanova. And Ruben Quevedo on the mound. J.D. Drew takes strike one. Drew clipping right out of the gates very nicely at 391. No homers, 2 RBIs. Pitch misses high and away. Not an overpowering sort is Ruben Quevedo.
No, and he's not throwing as hard as he was at the end of last year. Only 85 miles an hour registering in the gun tonight for Quevedo on that fastball. Imagine once he gets a little loose and maybe into the season a little bit, a few starts, he'll get it up to about 87, 88. But 85, not very quick.
Good changeup there and a good ground ball turned over by Eric Young. A 1-2-3 inning. That's how Ruben Quevedo likes it. The Brewers swing the bats right after this. Scoreless ball game as we welcome you back to Busch Memorial Stadium. The Brewers and the Cardinals. Take a look at our weather. 61 degrees, humidity 52%. I've always wanted to be a meteorologist. And what did you say, gentle winds are blowing earlier?
Is it possible for the winds to be affected by the Mississippi River? A little light craft advisory out there, however. Some drifting wood, some flotsam, if you will.
Flotsam?
That was fun out there. You know, Kashan and I, you were out there.
I didn't make the trek down with you guys, though.
But that was a lot of fun.
It's a fairly impressive job, I would say. You going down by the river there, and a lot of people don't know that you helped a couple of folks with their boats, helped them dock their boats. You did a lot of things.
Yep.
Big swing by Richie Sexton. It produces a pop-up near the Cardinals dugout. Tino Martinez looks like he's played here for a long time. Finds the room, gets there, but then has a conversation with Mike Matheny as he walks away.
You know, they say that East St. Louis is not exactly the vacation spot of the United States, but that's where we were. You can see Richie out in front of that changeup. And when Stevenson has that pitch working for him, you're going to see a lot of Brewer hitters out in front, out on that front foot, popping the baseball up.
Jeff Jenkins off to a 2-17 start. Homered in the opening series, 5 for 23. 10 strikeouts as well as he takes a fastball high and away, 1-0 the count. Talking with Jeff before the game, and he believes and understands that Richie and he will come to produce very soon. He's most excited about the pitchers and what they've been doing as he fouls that one back.
Well, the offense will get geared up. You know, last year the Brewers offense went gangbusters right out of the chute. April, May, part of June. Pitching struggled a little bit, but you know, the offense will get going. But as you mentioned on the pregame show, you got to be excited about the young pitching staff, particularly the starters. Bullpen's banged up a little bit right now with Curtis Laskanik on the disabled list and Chad Fox, Ray King. Those guys get back. It's going to be a good staff. Just a matter if the offense is going to be consistent enough to score runs.
Another chance for Tino Martinez, and Bam Bam, as he was known at the University of Tampa, steps on the bag for the out.
Bam Bam.
Tino Bam Bam Martinez, as he used to circle the bases, much to the dismay of any Division II opposing pitcher.
I was going to say, the big war club in his hand, right?
Oh.
A la the Flintstones.
He's quite the Tampa guy. Still lives there, born and raised there, went to college there, stayed loyal. He could have gone to a bigger Division I school. Alex Ochoa takes a fastball high and away, 1-0 the count. 3 homers already, 4 RBIs, and still knocking on that I'd like to play every day door. And he's hoping it opens very soon.
Yeah, with those numbers, you would expect that's a pretty good indication of why he's in that lineup tonight. Matt Stairs, the odd man out for the time being. Alex Sanchez getting some time, as you mentioned. Jeffrey from time to time will move over to right. Matt Stairs has done nothing but pinch hit. But he will get his opportunities, as will Mark Loretta, as will just about everybody. Long season.
I would imagine, though, talking about Mark Loretta, that this is a difficult time for him. This is a guy that's been used to playing nearly every day as Ochoa takes a stride.
Loretta goes through this every year almost. He's used to it. But you can't blame him. You can't blame the Brewers. It's been injuries that have short-circuited his career. For the time being, anyway. Still a young kid. Young man.
I give him credit, though. Every time I see him, he's wearing a smile, and every time they're working, he's working as hard as anyone else. Stevenson shakes off one sign, another, and now he and his catcher, Mike Matheny, decide let's just start all over again. Tommy John surgery last April the 25th, and just now back. Good fastball on the outside corner, and down goes Ochoa. Who's on first? Well, he'll be swinging the bat when we come back. Glad to have you back in St. Louis with us as we continue on. Well, it's the show everyone's been talking about, the best sports show period. And tonight, Astros slugger Jeff Bagwell, Pistons guard Jerry Stackhouse, British Open champ in 2001 David Duval on the show. It's the best sports show period tonight at 11 p.m. only on the net, Fox Sports Net. Ruben Quevedo set him down 1-2-3. It doesn't get any easier. Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, and Tino Martinez. The middle three for the Cardinals. The reigning rookie of the year, Albert Pujols, digs in. And he takes a pitch low and inside. 1-0 the count.
Hasn't missed a beat either. 320, 7 RBIs. He's the real deal, no doubt about it. Everybody talking about the sophomore jinx. Still may come, but he's off to a good start.
I'm still floored that the first year this gentleman played professional baseball was the year 2000. And he's done what he has done. Changeup misses outside. 2 balls and a strike with nobody out. Glad you're with us here in St. Louis. A little bit quieter here at Busch Stadium without Big Mac, but I'm sure once school lets out, that will change.
Yeah, it's a school night. I'm just getting ready to say.
It's a good baseball team.
Yes, it is. Sea of red everywhere you go.
Hitters count. Quevedo probably nibbling here. He does, and it's ball 4. You know, we've talked a little bit about Ruben Quevedo, but as we take a look at the Hyundai scouting report, Bill, give us a few more thoughts on it.
Well, Quevedo has to have his pitches on the corners. He gets a lot of strikeouts with that rising fastball, but he's got to be ahead in the count. You know, 2-1, 3-1. Those counts, he's not going to be able to get hitters out with a fastball. He doesn't throw hard enough. He's got a very good changeup. His curveball is improving, and every now and again with 2 strikes, he'll go to a splitter.
70 pitches, 3 1/3. Some key errors made behind it, but he'll tell you 4 walks. He cannot win. Very fine pitcher. Has to live in the corners. Bill and I have already touched on it. Not overpowering. Matter of fact, ball 4 there, that last fastball was 86 miles an hour. California native Jimmy Edmonds with that classic left-handed stance takes a strike. 0-1. 455, a pair of home runs already, and 5 driven in. You can add a double to the resume in 2002. Not a man who's large in stature, but wields a big home run bat. Fouls that one back. And when he's on, he's a guy that's not pulling home runs, but right out there about where the Brewers are sitting in the bullpen is where he hits them.
Stays right on the baseball. He'll walk a lot, he'll strike out a lot, but he will drive you in 100 runs a season. Yeah, that's where he lives. When he's hitting the baseball well, he could take the ball out of the ballpark into that Brewer bullpen in left center.
Down here, 0-2. High fly ball, well hit, left center field. Hammond, does he have room? He does. And he hauls that one in right on cue. Jimmy Edmonds hits one into his jet stream.
Just did get under that one enough. 83-mile-an-hour fastball. Quevedo took just a little bit off and had him out in front. You can see Edmonds going right with it. He keeps that front shoulder tucked and drives it. Just got under it enough to allow Jeffrey to make the catch on the warning track. He just missed that baby. Casanova going out there and saying, hey, look, that was an 0-2 pitch. We can't be making a mistake like that.
We talk about some pitchers with power arms who will waste 0-2 pitches, maybe at the letters, but when you don't have a power arm, it needs to be out of the zone, in the dirt, or a definite change of pace.
No doubt.
Constantino Martinez. Tino, as he's been known his whole baseball career, fouls that one off. And we get to, I guess, the end of our joke now because we see who's on first, Tino Martinez.
We knew all along. But it was funny, wasn't it?
Well, your part was fun.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the courtesy laughs.
The Abbott and Costello.
Martinez takes a pitch outside. 1 ball and 1 strike with a 1 out in a scoreless ball game. You see the number 21 on his jersey. Tino wearing number 21 decided to lose the 24 that he wore with the Yankees. His children thought, it's time to move on from New York, Dad. So he elected to go with the number 24. Olivia, JJ, Victoria, his children, said, Dad, let's change the number here. You're not a Yankee anymore.
Okay, 21. Good number.
Lifts that one down the left field line. Jenkins, will he have room? Nope, that's a souvenir in that sea of red you talked about. One of those great trades that you look back on that you never know, but it was back in December of 1995. Jeff Nelson came with them, and you know all the success he had, and Jim Messier for Sterling Hitchcock and Russ Davis.
Yeah.
The Mariners and the Yankees made that
Yeah,
deal.
Russ Davis really never did pan out. Sterling Hitchcock bounced around, so that was a pretty good deal.
Breaking ball popped up. Casanova heads to the batter's circle, and he makes the play for the out. Martinez fooled badly. There was that change of pace with 2 strikes. It may have been up, but a good change of pace.
He took an awful lot off of that pitch. Martinez way out in front. Changeup is designed to throw in order for the hitter to make contact. Very rarely, unless you have 2 strikes for it, you want a hitter to swing and miss. You see Tino unable to center that baseball, popped it straight up, and an easy play for Casanova in foul territory.
You have to wonder here if Dave Stewart isn't saying, I love the idea with the change of pace, but we have got to work down in the strike zone.
Got to get down in the strike zone, and when you're ahead in the count, let's not mess around with pitches up and off speed. Done it to a couple of hitters in this inning, but he's gotten away with it. You're not going to get away with that all night long.
If that man has something to say, he will say it.
I was just getting ready to say
that,
you know what's scary? After 4 games, we're starting to think alike because, you know, Dave Stewart, if something pops into his head, he's not going to go over to Davey Lopes and says, can I go out and talk to him? He just jumps out of that dugout and says his piece.
Time. He calls time and heads out there.
Yeah.
Mike Matheny takes a fastball, just missed high and away. 1-0 the count.
Most batting coaches have to go over and talk to the manager and say, look, this is what I see. I think I should go out and talk to him. Coach says, okay. Not Davey. Davey lets Stu do whatever he needs to do.
2-0 the count with 2 outs in a scoreless ball game. This game off to a very quiet start, quite honestly. Bench coach Jerry Royster right next to Dave Stewart. Stu looking for an ear to talk about what he sees out there, and I think Jerry's providing it. Doesn't look too pleased. 2-0 misses outside. Well, before the game, yes.
Okay, yeah. But
Before
during the game,
no.
have we ever gotten a shot of Dave Stewart where he's just giddy?
Just a giggling and laughing, chomping on his gum, high-fiving, slapping behind.
Sticking bubble gum bubbles on top of hats. No, you're not going to see that from Stu. No. And I venture to say you're not going to see anybody doing it to him either.
Just crawling on the floor, lighting hot puts. Yeah. That's not his MO. 3-1 the count on Matheny, former Brewer. And he fouls that one back our way down below. Matter of fact, the Brewers' number 8 selection back in 1991 out of the University of Michigan. I love the story about his dad. He was a construction worker, and he knew how to punish his 3 boys. He would come home from the job with a dump truck full of dirt and 3 shovels and say, I want this dirt shoveled, moved into the wheelbarrow and into the backyard. And then as soon as they would move it to the back, he would ask them to move it back to the front. Runner goes, and it's fouled to the screen.
Wow.
Didn't mess around in his house.
Like the work crews, huh?
Didn't mess around in his house.
Those piles of rocks around.
The best part of that story, though, is that Matheny signed a 3-year contract extension recently, more money than he ever thought he'd make in his life, and he called his dad and said, I'll be doing the work in the dirt for the rest of my life as a catcher. Yeah. The retirement money's on the way. And asked his dad to go ahead and retire. Pretty cool story. Runner goes again, just missed outside. Quevedo thought maybe he had the high part of that outside corner, but he didn't.
Joe Brinkman used to be an American League umpire before they consolidated. That one looked like a pretty good pitch, but Joe Brinkman stands about as far away from home plate as any umpire that you'll see. He's a good 3 or 4 feet behind Raul Casanova, which I would think distorts his view of the strike zone. Most umpires are tucked right up against that catcher. But Joe's a little bit far back. He's a little bit closer these days.
That one is lined to right by Eli Marrero, and to the corner it goes. 1 run will score. Oquendo sends him around. We'll have a play at the plate. Sliding safe. And it gets by the catcher on to third, and sliding safe goes Marrero. And the Cardinals lead it by a score of 2-0. Eli Marrero is now 9 for 12 to start the season.
And batting in the number 8 slot. How about that? He is red hot. Off-speed pitch, and look at that stroke. Inside-out stroke. Shoots one down the right field line. Alex Ochoa digging it out of the corner and made a good throw, but the relay throw to home plate got by Casanova, allowing Matheny to get to third base. So that strike or ball call against Matheny comes back to haunt Quevedo.
Stevenson steps in, first pitch swinging high above the infield. Young, Hernandez, it's Young. A big blow by an 8-hitter. 2 RBI double. St. Louis on top of Milwaukee by a score of 2-0. And fans, don't forget, on Friday, April the 19th, see the Brewers against the Cardinals, these Cardinals. Plus, the first 20,000 fans receive a 1978 replica baseball card of former Brewers All-Star Don Money. It's courtesy of St. Michael's Hospital. Call 414-902-4000 and do so for tickets.
Don Money, currently a coach in the Brewer minor league system.
He could play a little bit, couldn't he?
Not a bad third baseman. He could hit any fastball inside on him and keep it fair as well as anybody.
Garrett Stevenson may be living right a bit. The Brewers are hitless, and Stevenson has fallen behind on 5 of his first 6 hitters. And the Brewers, when they get into hitters' counts, have been unable to pounce. That, combined with Stevenson suddenly making good pitches and deeper into the counts. 2-0 St. Louis. Jose Hernandez takes strike 1. Doesn't fall behind him. A homer, 4 RBIs, 286. Good breaking ball outside corner.
Yeah, that's one of those Matt Morris curveballs straight over the top. That one had some good bite on it. Boy, if he's able to throw that pitch for strikes tonight, it could be a long night.
Into the dirt and blocked up by Matheny behind the plate. Matheny's a guy behind the plate that's known as a pretty tough hombre. Were you around when he was hit by the pitch by Rich Loisel?
Hit him right in the chops.
That one almost hit Hernandez right in the cup, but that's a ball.
Matheny never did go down, not even a knee on the ground, and played the next day. And Rich Loisel can bring it a little bit. Throws the ball in the mid-90s. At least he used to. Ugly thing to see.
So as I read further about that, he was hit in the face, spit blood, was back in the lineup the next day, and then a couple of weeks later was on the DL with a pulled side. Ball 4.
You never know.
Pretty ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. Got into a couple of scuffles with Julian or Julian Tavares, no matter, depending on what year it is. Calls himself Julian or Julian.
Here's Cassie. Raul Casanova, switch hitter, batting left-handed. 3 for 14 out of the gates.
What is it this year? Julian?
Yeah, I don't know. He plays for the Florida Marlins, so.
Julian, I think.
He was traded from the Cubs to the Florida Marlins.
Yeah.
Cassie lines it right to Vina. That's a double play. Long play place, wrong time for Jose Hernandez, but the ball was scorched by Casanova.
Yeah, you really can't fault Hernandez for getting doubled off on that. A line drive bullet off the bat of Casanova, and Jose really not off that far. It took a step and a half, but that's all it took. Hernandez able to get the ball over to Martinez and double him off. Knows right away. Good defense. Casanova's been stinging the baseball.
High breaking ball to Quevedo. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs in the inning. 2-0. St. Louis leads it. High fly ball, well hit to right field. J.D. Drew will have room, and he makes the play for the out. It was a hot shot, but once it was caught, Tino knew right where to go. Just 1 hit in this baseball game, but the Cardinals lead it by a score of 2-0. Eli Marrero, a 2-run double in the 2nd inning. Here's what's on tap as you take a look at our upcoming Brewers television schedule. We tell you tomorrow, of course, against the Cardinals. Then the weekend by the Bay as the Brewers go head-to-head with Bonds, Barry Bonds, and the Giants, all 3 on television. So make sure and catch up with us this weekend from the city by the Bay. What's on tap brought to you by our good friends with Miller Lite. Ruben Quevedo just rolled through the 1st inning. Then in the 2nd inning, a pair of walks. Just like he had 4 walks against the Houston Astros, and both those walks come around to score. Managers scare college players by saying about 80% of all walks come around to score, but for Quevedo, it probably does hold true. A lot of his walks will come around.
Well, that's what happened in Houston. He walked 4 batters, gave up 4 hits in the 4th inning, and that's all it took. So, walks as good as a hit. It's an old adage, an old cliche, but if you're talking about offense, it's so true. Base runners are base runners, regardless of how they get on. Errors, walks, hits. And that's why you've got 1 hit and 2 runs for the Cardinals.
Fernando Vina takes a pitch high and outside. 1-0 the count. Vina 6 for 32 out of the gates. That's a 188 batting average. He flied to right field back in the 1st inning. You'll always notice a flied to or grounded to, though, if he is out, because Fernando Vina rarely, if ever, strikes out. As a matter of fact, he and Eric Young are amazing phenomenons, both on the diamond. Both in their career have more walks than strikeouts coming into this season. See why?
Another guy on the list that's tough to strike out. A guy on the bench for the Cardinals, Placido Polanco, didn't strike out a lot. Put the ball in play. Fernando and EY do it very well. That's why they're leadoff hitters.
Vina 224 walks, 223 strikeouts. That's in his career. On the inside corner, Young 489 walks and just 323 strikeouts. Foul that one back off the screen. And on the flip side, they both like to swing the bat. They just do not walk.
Yes, they do. And sometimes Fernando Vina makes too good a contact. A lot of times he'll swing at a pitch that he really didn't mean to swing at, and he'll pop it up. Very rarely does he swing and miss, and sometimes that could be a disadvantage.
Well, no sense in going after that when it was at his cap bills. Well, it's another full weekend of racing across the Fox networks, beginning on Friday with Fox Sports Net with Winston Cup qualifying from Martinsville. Saturday on FX, it's Busch Series racing. On Sunday, start your race day with NASCAR this morning, presented by Smirnoff Ice, followed by Winston Cup racing, presented by Yamaha on FX. Fox Networks, your home for NASCAR.
A lot going on there.
Always a lot going on. Busy weekend, if you like that type of television viewing, if you will. Pop fouling out of play.
Well, Jeff Gordon came in second in the race yesterday, right?
He did, and you had him in our little NASCAR pool, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I had Mark Martin, who came in third. Usually broadcasters travel a sports page. Virtual unknown, I think, won the race. Unknown to me, anyway. Vina stands at first base. Renteria, the right-handed hitting shortstop, looks at a defense that plays him just about straight up. And he lines that one fair, and to the corner it goes and left. Jenkins watches it rattle around. Vigna on his way to third. Renteria on his way to second. Runners on second and third for the Cardinals with nobody out.
Yeah, and the tough part of this order coming up. If you have any chance of beating the St. Louis Cardinals, you would better get 1 and 2 in the order out. That's a hanging curveball. Stayed on the inside part of the plate, and Renteria pulled the hands in and ripped it off the glove of Ronnie Belliard. Looked like Belliard got a piece of it, but didn't slow it down enough to keep it from a double.
By the way, Matt Kenseth won the race.
From Wisconsin.
J.D. Drew, a swing and a miss, strike one. Is that true?
Yeah. Cambridge.
Okay. You say so. Runners on second and third. They play Drew to pull on the infield. The outfield plays straight up. Like Edmonds, not a man who's tall in stature, but wields a big stick, and he shows it there, skying it to left. Let's see if it's enough to score. Vigna bluffs the tag, and Jenkins comes out of his shoes right to the cutoff man. Good job there by Jenkins.
Jeff Jenkins' throwing arm isn't back to what it was before he hurt that shoulder. Still not deep enough to score the run. Fernando runs very well, but with nobody out in the middle of the St. Louis Cardinal order coming up, you certainly don't want to make an out at the bases, particularly at home plate. Off the end of the bat, it's slicing out to left field. Watch how Jenkins surrounds this baseball and has got good momentum coming toward home plate when he catches it. A lot behind that throw because of that forward momentum.
Here's Pujols with runners on second and third. Takes a pitch high, 1-0 the count.
Had that been down toward the bottom of the order, I would imagine that Oquendo might have taken a chance and sent that runner.
Tony La Russa not managing the club tonight. Third base coach Jose Oquendo taking over the duties. Tony lost his father today, so he's going to be with his family. Pitch misses outside, 2-0 the count. And Jose Oquendo always has been an energetic player, but now an energetic coach who probably will be a manager someday.
Jose Oquendo, one of those players that played all 9 positions in a game once. Utility infielder, utility player.
Be careful here, 2-0. Breaking ball, too careful. It misses outside, 3-0.
You got to be careful here.
Green light him.
Ben Sheets got burned on a 3-0 fastball to Steve Finley on Sunday afternoon.
Would you give him the green light?
Absolutely. Pujols has the green light here. You know it.
Swinging, good pitch. He was careful, right on the outside black.
Yep, a little bit of movement going away from Pujols. Looks like it had some cut on it. Wants a little late movement going away from Pujols. Nice pitch on the outside corner.
Needs to make a couple of more big pitches. Runners on second and third. 1 out. The 3-1. Foul back to the screen. He's got him strike 2. Last year, the 130 RBIs, most ever by a rookie. Wally Berger with the Reds back in 1930 drove in 119. Left fielder Wally Berger, Chicago native, hit 38 home runs that year, by the way. Pujols had 37. Line, base it into left field. They're going to send both runners around. They're testing Jenkins now. The throw to the plate. Got him with the tag. Renteria thought he slid around the tag of Casanova. Maybe a break for the Brewers there. The energetic Jose Oquendo pushing the button a little too aggressively.
Yeah. Now, Renteria's got outstanding speed. Fernando Vigna runs well, but Jenkins throw right on the money. Plenty of time to get Renteria. I guess the scouting report that the Cardinals have is that there's not a lot of life on those throws from Jenkins and left, so they tested them. Might be the last time they do that. Right around average to a little bit deeper out in left field. Good throw by Jeff. It didn't look like Renteria ever touched the plate. Still bringing him up.
That's a great shot, too. You can see Jimmy Edmonds and Fernando Vina both telling him to slide toward the first base side of home plate. They knew the baseball was going the other way. Jimmy Edmonds takes a pitch outside, 1-0 the count.
When he talked to Jenkins about his arm, he says, I have no pain in there. Everything's fine. I just don't have a lot of life to it, like a dead arm. As the season goes on, hopefully that'll change and he'll get that snap back in the throws.
Cardinals up 3-0. Edmonds has a pitch get by him and the catcher Casanova and go all the way to the backstop. Advancing 90 feet is Pujols. It got the catcher's mitt of Casanova. How do you roll that one?
Well, that's a wild pitch. Hitter has to get out of the way. Normally it's going to be a wild pitch.
That's what they rule it.
As a pitcher, what would you score that?
Score that a wild pitch. It's pretty bad.
You know, it's got to be pretty bad for me to even come close to admitting that anything's a pass ball. But I will acknowledge one when I see one.
And you should. You should, you know. Free pass for Jimmy Edmonds. No way will they pitch to him. They instead, I guess, will go an easier route with Tino Martinez. The key, though, is you will have a force opportunity at second if he puts it on the ground.
Jim Edmonds is batting .435. Tino Martinez has been struggling. Plus, set up the double play to get out of the inning. Of course, that doesn't matter. There's 2 outs. What am I watching? Okay. That's right. The play at the plate.
But
Play at the plate. That's right.
My question for you is, if they do go ahead and turn the double play for Ruben, who's been struggling, can they count the out for next inning? I mean, so. You know, maybe they could do that. So go ahead and turn it over and see what happens. Here's Tino. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch, and he looks like a guy not totally locked in yet.
Yeah, well, they didn't walk Jim Edmonds right away. They waited till they got down in the count quite a bit, and then they put him on. Tino's been struggling. And he may hit into that double play with 2 outs. You never know.
You never know.
It's happened before.
Strike 2. 87 miles an hour. Still not where he would like to be, but climbing up a bit. Early on, he was 85, 86 with the fastball. Quevedo definitely laboring again tonight. Venezuelan native. Still makes his home there. The right-hander elects the pickoff move to third. Or to first, I should say. While at third, Albert Pujols was marking his territory, heading about halfway down the line. Mike Matheny in the on-deck circle. Got it. Good off-speed pitch. Good job with the intentional walk there. Davey Lopes pushes the right button. Slide around the tag. Slide around it. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards, and by Potawatomi Bingo and Casino, the place to be.
Yeah, here's the arch, and we were over here somewhere. We really can't get it. We're over there somewhere.
Moving on you.
The arch is moving. You know what? I'm not going to illustrate that. That's a beautiful stadium. Beautiful view, isn't it?
That's you inside of it. You should have drawn a little Bill Schroeder there.
Beautiful night here in St. Louis.
Eric Young out of the gates, swinging the bat, skies it into foul territory.
Supposed to be in the mid-70s this week.
That's what I hear.
Thursday's supposed to be a beautiful day.
Now, do you have golf planned for Thursday? A golf outing?
No, I do not. I'm here for baseball, my friend.
1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out. Every now and then elect to bring your clubs on the charter and play some golf?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I enjoy playing golf on the road, but you have to get into a bit of a routine. It's a bit early for that in the season.
It is. And you're a routine-driven guy, I think, as am I.
Yeah, and I like to get to the ballpark at a certain time every day and do the same thing every day before the game, get ready. If my routine is messed up just in the slightest, I really have a lot of problems.
Stevenson knocks that one around and flips to Martinez in time for the out. Well, let's put your thinking caps on and see what you guys have in mind. Here's the Aflac trivia question. Who was the last Brewer to win a Gold Glove? A little gold bar behind the Aflac there. That represents the Gold Glove, I guess.
Well, I know the first.
Vigna won his first last year, as Ronnie Belliard drops a bunt foul up the third base line. So do you know the answer?
I believe I know.
Well, you can't look in your media guide to know the answer.
I'm not looking for that.
3-0, St. Louis leads it on top of Milwaukee.
This media guide is a wonderful source of information. And it has more in there than Gold Glove Award winners.
That one is fouled back right below us. And Garrett Stevenson, for a man who had Tommy John surgery last year, and for a man who was really knocked around by the Rockies in his first start, looks to be locked in tonight. He's ahead 0-2 on Belliard. Fastball backs him out of the plate. That's one of the reasons he's been coming in when he has to.
We said it many times in these broadcasts that the harder you throw, the less you have to come inside. Both of these pitchers, both Quevedo and Stevenson, neither one of them will touch 90 miles an hour, which means they have to keep batters honest on the inside corner. Make them aware of the pitch inside, and it has to be for strikes. Every time you come inside, it's a ball. Hitters won't look for it. They won't be aware of it.
Belliard struck out looking back in the first inning. 3 for 10 out of the gates. He too is a guy that would love to crack that lineup every day, but has been sharing duties with Tyler Houston. It's fouled straight back again. We're going to get one at one point tonight because they're coming very close. And I'm sure glad I have a former big league catcher in my booth here for when the foul ball comes.
And when the Gold Glover, though.
Well, do you have to be a Gold Glover, though, to be a good catcher in the big leagues and save me here in the booth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A little chilly. It's getting a little cool. Bare hand one for you?
Would you please?
No.
Have you ever caught one in the booth?
Yes, I have in Cleveland.
And now, what is your mark in the big leagues? Are you 1 for 1? Have you attempted others and dropped?
I got hit right in the chest in Detroit. Does that count?
That one is hammered to left field. Marrero is there, and he makes the play for the out. Kids, join the official Brewers Pepsi Kids Club for only $15 per child. Hold that thought. We'll get back to it. Kids 14 and under receive a Terrace Reserve ticket to 6 selected Brewers games, a Brewer All-Star Kids sports bag, and a watch. Call 414-902-4400 for information. Was it in the lower booth in Detroit at the old stadium? That doesn't count as a drop then.
Well, Curtis Pride was up, and he hit me right in the chest.
I mean, the booth
on
there.
On TV, on television. Did not say anything inappropriate, which was a complete surprise to all. I mean, think about it.
That booth was about 40 feet from home plate.
Yeah, you had to keep your eyes peeled.
2-0 the count on Jeffrey Hammonds. Hammonds flied to right field back in the first inning. Now, I noticed, though, as Mr. Harwell, Ernie Harwell, got a little bit older, they put some protection up there for him. No protection for you, though, huh, partner?
Oh, no.
Right back to the mound on one hop. Through 4 innings, Garrett Stevenson has faced the minimum.
Middle of the fourth here in St. Louis. Craig Deshawn back with you. Cardinals leading the Brewers, and I'm way upstairs in left field in Big Mac land. And we've been talking all night. The Big Mac, of course, not playing anymore, but we still have a few fans out here. And Scott, you brought your 2 boys here. What's the attraction of still coming to Big Mac land?
Well, the boys just love it. We used to come up here. We sat up here for batting practice a lot when Mark used to be here, and he hit a couple up here. And I actually caught one time when we were sitting up here. And ever since, the boys have just always loved to come up here and watch the game from here. And luckily tonight we're in the front row.
And you have your little helmet on, don't you, just in case?
Yep.
You never know. You never know. I want to know, though, who do you think on this Cardinal roster can still hit a home run this far to left field?
Oh, I think Pujols could make it, don't you think, Ty?
Maybe.
I think Albert would probably be the best bet.
All right, very good. Well, you guys enjoy your time up here. You didn't have to pay for these seats, though, did you? You kind of moved in?
Yeah, we kind of snuck in. We bought the cheap ones and noticed there weren't a whole lot of folks here, so we jumped in the front row real early.
Left field upstairs, and you got to pay a little extra for these. Big Mac land still exists, even though the player has retired. Back to the booth.
Good stuff, Craig. Thanks a lot from up there in deep left field in Big Mac land. I don't know. Albert Pujols, anybody else come to mind?
No, yeah, particularly when you talk about St. Louis Cardinals, most of their power comes from the left side of the plate. I don't think Renteria can do it.
What about a visiting first baseman by the name of Richie Sexton?
Oh, yeah, of course.
1 out and strike 1 on Eli Marrero, who is now 9 for 12 to start the 2001 season.
Amazing.
Into most of his opportunities, he doubled home a pair back in the second. Chases one there, 0-2.
Marrero playing out in left field. Mike Matheny doing the lion's share of the catching. Marrero now considered to be a utility man. Can play some right field, probably throw him over at first base, plays left. I would imagine that Tony La Russa is going to figure out a place to put him if he continues this type of hitting.
Now, how about that? He is now 10 for 13 to start the season. We were talking about the last Brewer to win a Gold Glove. That is our Aflac trivia question. Did you have a guess for me?
I know George Scott was the first. I don't think there has been one since.
Okay, well
I'm probably wrong.
let's reveal and find Robin Yount.
Robin Yount, the obvious choice. You know, I hate to say it, but I was going to say Robin. 1982, the Brewers in the World Series right here at Busch.
Stevenson showed that bunt early. He will be looking to advance the runner.
Kind of embarrassing. I didn't know that.
No, it's not embarrassing at all.
See, that's what happens. You know, you ask me questions like that, you put me on the spot. And
well, that's what good play-by-play guys are supposed to do. Put their partners on the spot, not prepare them, and try and show them up.
Okay.
Stevenson takes high and outside. So you can blame that all on me.
You know, and even though I didn't know it, I tried to make myself look half decent, and you kind of ratted on me that I was looking in the media guide.
You know, I'm noticing your media guide, though. Are you worried someone's going to take it? You have to write your name on the front?
Yeah.
Has someone taken your media guides in the past?
Yep. 5-finger discounts.
That's rock right across the front.
And if anybody wants to take it and they want to use that with rock all over it, I even have it written on the edge.
Can we show this? Do we have a camera anywhere? This is pretty good stuff here. Rock. I think the best part here is how you have it written on the pages.
But remember, I do not have my media guide nicknamed.
Which means what? Pickoff move, diving back. No problem there is Eli Marrero. I don't have my.
I guess they.
I don't have my media guide nickname.
Well,
is that what you're insinuating?
You got a nickname for your car, though.
My car, and that's all.
Okay.
Not my lounge, not my couch.
Inanimate objects.
Not my kitchen table. Another pickoff.
I guess they didn't want to get a shot of it.
No, they are actually at some point.
It's too late.
Not really big team play there on your part, just to give up.
I had it up. You know, I had it up for a good long time. What am I supposed to do? Hang it up there for 9 innings?
There's a good bunt. Quevedo loses his footing. Will he get any outs? No. It all went south when Ruben Quevedo went to plant on the grass and tumbled to the ground.
Well, he planted that foot and slipped, and then he couldn't find the handle, and it was too late. EY couldn't handle the short hop. Right there, you can see the foot going out from under him. Grass getting a little bit damp. And disaster strikes. Dan Wright, assistant trainer, going out to check on Quevedo to make sure he didn't pull something out there.
Sacrifice and an error on the pitcher. So a pair of errors tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers. They're down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and here is Fernando Vina. Runners on first and second, 1 out. And the Sacramento, California native readies himself to dig into the box. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Barely, though, a native of Sacramento, California, as he fouls that one off. It was on Liberation Day, August 13th, 1968, that his mom and dad and brother and sister left Cuba when his mom was 3 months pregnant with Fernando. So he was almost a native of Cuba. He was born in the United States.
Fernando with a son back in California. Very much enjoyed his time with Milwaukee.
Outfield plays him shallow, infield double play depth, and he fouls that one back.
The mayor, Fernando Vina, shakes hands with everybody he sees. Doesn't matter who you are.
Very likable guy. And
yes, indeed.
Big article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch about his influence in the Cardinals locker room, how he finally is becoming a guy that is known as one of the star players on this team, though he doesn't look for that role. Hammered to right. Ochoa should have a beat on it. He makes the play for the out. Speaking of Cuba, too, Vina plans to return to Cuba with his family and to get his father back down there. For the longest time, Fernando Vina's parents were not comfortable ever thinking about going back, and one can understand why.
Absolutely. Things a little bit different down in Cuba. Not a whole lot, but have the ability to go down there and have his family see their homeland again.
We saw a shot just a moment ago of Alex Ochoa. He, too, was born in the United States, and his mother and father left Cuba when they were pregnant with him. So those two gentlemen share that in common. The Brewers right fielder and Fernando Vina. Pop foul and out of play. There's Alex. Born in Miami, still lives in Miami. Miami Lakes, Hialeah Miami Lakes High School. He's worn a few uniforms, but I think he hopes this is his last.
And he's done better as a Milwaukee Brewer in 2 stints than with any other organization.
That one is fought off. Quevedo, 86 miles an hour on that last fastball, according to the in-house radar gun.
Velocity's still not what it was last year for Quevedo. He was getting a lot of strikeouts with some high cheese last year. He's not been able to do that so far this year.
I can remember the exhibition start against the Chicago White Sox in Miller Park, and he was doing that quite a bit, and he got up to 88, 89. That one's well hit to right center field. Hammonds can't get there. One Redbird scores. They stop another at third base in Garrett Stevenson, and the Cardinals add another. It's 4-0. Good looking piece of hitting there, down and away, almost hit out to right center.
Yeah, a lot of 2-out hitting for the St. Louis Cardinals. Almost one of their runs tonight coming with 2 outs. Boy, Renteria getting a pitch out away from him and just driving it over the head of Jeffrey Hammonds, which is no small feat. Jeffrey can flat out fly out there. He gets a good jump on the baseball, but unable to catch up to that one. And Hammonds and Ochoa talking about that. Jeffrey will tell you he probably should have had that baseball, but that would have been some kind of play.
Ruben Quevedo has another tough outing. The Brewers are down by a score of 4-0, and Nelson Figueroa will be asked to eat up some innings. The Brewers down by 4. Right-hander Nelson Figueroa, the newest member of the Milwaukee Brewers, coming over from the Phillies organization, will get a chance to do some work, and probably Davey Lopes hopes some serious work as he goes to the mound. See what he did Saturday against the Diamondbacks. He looks outstanding. He threw 30 pitches in those 2 innings. He's a guy like Quevedo that won't overpower, but he looked good in his first outing.
Well, and Davey Lopes has said that if any one of his starters goes down with an injury or struggles quite a bit, Nelson Figueroa would be the first guy that he would call on to make some starts. He's got all the pitches. He doesn't throw all that hard. Do very well in situations like this with a short start by the starting pitcher. Eat up a few innings, and he can start. Good acquisition, as you mentioned, claimed off waivers from Philadelphia.
J.D. Drew takes a breaking ball in the outside corner. Good sharp breaking ball there. Makes his home in Voorhees, New Jersey, does Figueroa. A native of Brooklyn. Still just 27 years old, so I say a good pickup for Milwaukee. Still a young man, baseball years. Good change-up swing and a miss.
Well, had Curtis Leskanic and Chad Fox not gotten injured and placed on a disabled list, Brewers probably wouldn't have given a second thought to Figueroa when he was on the waiver wire. Not the case. Bullpen is in need of some help, and Figueroa is a guy that can do that. Give him some help.
I don't know where that one missed. Maybe a bit low, but a good-looking pitch.
Maybe.
Two outs. There's Edgar Renteria. Got it. Good. Change-up down and away, and down goes Drew. So Figueroa does his job, bringing the soft stuff to the mound, but locating it very well. 4-0 Cards. St. Louis on top of the Brewers, 4-0. A lot of baseball yet to be played, and the Brewers really looking to wake up the bats. We like you, and we hope you like us, enough to want to talk to us anyway. Email us here in the booth. Go to foxsports.com on Lycos, the keyword Brewers Booth, and you can ask questions to my partner, to myself. We may even read some of them on the air, and Bill will give his answers and his expertise. And, you know, really any subject is within bounds, I would say. Would you say the same?
Well, so far that's been the case up here in this booth, isn't it?
Pretty much, unfortunately, I think, for our listeners. Pretty much. Richie Sexson takes a pitch way inside. You can close the book on Ruben Quevedo. 3 2/3 innings, and he battled through every out. 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. Slow roller to third, and an easy chance for Pujols. Across the diamond it goes. Fans, you can save big with MasterCard Grand Slam ticket packs. On 20 selected dates, fans using MasterCard receive 4 outfield box seats and $20 in concessions for $75. That's a $57 savings. Call 414-902-4000 for tickets. Well, I see you claimed your Cardinals media guide.
Put my name on it, you bet.
Jeff Jenkins takes a pitch just off the plate.
Need I explain the putting my name on this stuff for you? What is the most prized possession in media guide land? The Spiral Media Guide.
In media guide land. Is that by Big Mac land at all?
You have a media guide that's got a spiral on it, and you go back to Milwaukee with a St. Louis Cardinal Spiral Media Guide,
which is priceless,
and you find it laying around, somebody's going to grab it.
Well, especially if you leave it lying around in media guide land.
You got an edge to you tonight, partner.
As do you, my friend, as do you. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. The Brewers would like to maybe have a little edge, get a little grouchy, knock that baseball around. They're looking for their first hit. Not there. Off-speed pitch. Jenkins fooled badly. He goes down on strike. So Richie Sexson 0 for 2 tonight. Jeff Jenkins 0 for 2. And the 2 now. You look at Richie Sexson. He's 3 for 23 out of the gates, and Jenkins 5 for 25.
Had a real rough series against Schilling and Johnson, did Jeff Jenkins. You can see Jeff at the half swing, and a good block by Mike Matheny.
Alex Ochoa. Good breaking ball. That double overhanded yellow hammer, they call it.
That's a good one. And Darryl Kyle and Matt Morris, 2 guys that the Brewers will not face, thankfully, on this 3-game series. Excellent curveballs, both of them, especially Darryl Kyle.
Well, he really had trouble in Colorado because of that, didn't he?
Yeah. That altitude was not very friendly to him.
No room there for Matheny.
Not very friendly to many pitchers, for that matter.
That was Stevenson's 60th pitch. 26 balls, 34 strikes. So he's just about at 1-1 and not allowing a hit in the 5th. A little fister shallow left, and the Brewers get in the hit column. When you're battling through it and you get to the 5th and you still don't have one, you'll take one off your knuckles.
You bet. And the crowd here at Busch Stadium giving Stevenson a round of applause. Tried to come up and in on him, but Alex able to pull the hands in. Watch him pull the hands in, keep him close to the chest. Get enough of it to muscle it into left field.
And it takes a little muscle to do that. It's one thing to pull the hands in, but you have to be strong to fight off that pitch.
Yes, you do. And quick.
Jose Hernandez. A long ball could change this ball game. Good breaking ball, strike one. He walked back in the third inning. Breaking ball, strike, and Hernandez not so sure about it. We talked about Garrett Stevenson missing all of last year with Tommy John surgery. His mates were outstanding at home, though, here at Busch. 3.43 team ERA on the road, over a run higher, 4.47. They like pitching in this ballpark.
Home cooking here in St. Louis, no doubt about it.
Sky to center field. Edmonds has a beat. Now he's camping. Inning over. The Brewers got a hit. Now they're chasing the elusive runs. More from Busch.
4-0 St. Louis leading Milwaukee. Craig Kashan back with you high atop Busch Stadium here in St. Louis in right center field. You can't walk anywhere around this stadium without seeing history, just oozing history. This organization that started back in 1892. I'm right next to many of the retired numbers out here. So many. Ozzie Smith, for one, who's going into the Hall of Fame this summer, by the way. Speaking of going back all the way to 1892, Rogers Hornsby's doesn't even have a number he played so long ago for the Cardinals, so they just put his name on one of the pennants here. Over in left field, the World Championship pennants, there are 9, the last coming in 1982. That is the last, I should say, the longest route that this organization has gone between World Series championships since they began back in the late 1800s, which is kind of interesting. Speaking of retired numbers, going back to that, Rock, what do you think? How long is it going to be before they put Big Mac's number 25 up here?
Yeah, it won't be long. I think they have to wait around to see if Big Mac, if he gets healthy, he might have a return trip around the major leagues. What do you think?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I think he was so beat up last year and just really got tired of struggling. And I think he will enjoy retirement and his family immensely. Ronnie Belliard has a long throw. Got him. Albert Pujols is erased.
That's right. He was so beat up and tired he couldn't even call on the phone. He had to send a fax to tell the Cardinals he was done.
Advanced Auto Parts takes a look around the major leagues. In the National League today, Chicago beat the New York Mets by a score of 2-0, I should say. Colorado on top of Houston 3-1. Reynolds against Thompson in that one. That is in the second inning. From Philadelphia, the Phillies lead the Braves. Just a quick addition there. Bottom of the 8th inning, the score there, 7-4, Philadelphia. Jim Edmonds takes outside, 1-0 the count.
John Lieber's spinning a pretty nice game for the Chicago Cubs today. How about your buddy Schmaltzy yesterday, last night?
You mean my car?
Your car, really slamming the door last night. Came in the 9th with a 1-run lead.
Allowed a couple of base runners, had runners on third, I believe, with nobody out.
First and third and nobody out, and got a pop-up and 2 strikeouts.
Edmonds fouls that one off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jim Edmonds, born in Fullerton, California, made his home in Yorba Linda growing up, which is about 15 minutes from Anaheim Stadium, now Edison Field, and a dream came true when the Angels picked him back in '88 in the 7th round. He was traded a couple of spring trainings ago from the Angels here to the Cardinals. Pitch on the outside corner, strike 2.
Have I ever told you my Jim Edmonds story?
I'd love to hear it.
I was down in rehab in Palm Springs when Edmonds and Salmon were in A-ball.
Got him looking on the inside corner. And down he goes.
First inning, Tim Salmon's up there in a flamethrower. I forget who we were playing, but hit Salmon right in the chops, knocked out a couple of teeth. Jim Edmonds is on deck. Actually, he was behind me, and I looked at him. I said, do I really have to go up there and hit? And lights weren't all that good. Jim Edmonds, every time I see him, he asks me about that.
I actually did hear that story from Tim Salmon this spring.
Okay.
He told me to pass it along to you that he hadn't forgotten.
Yeah, actually, His version is he didn't lose teeth. That was a piece of gum, right?
That's what he said. He said you had to come up and, pardon the graphic description, folks, but to dig into the box, kind of swipe a little blood around in the dirt.
Yeah.
Martinez hits a high fly ball, very shallow left field. Jeff Jenkins makes the play for the out. Nelson Figueroa has faced 4 Cardinals. Guess what? 4 up, 4 down. St. Louis on top of Milwaukee by a score of 4-0 as we roll into the top of the 6th inning. Well, fans, you can celebrate your birthday with Brewers Jewel Osco Birthday Bash. Fans of all ages can sign up for a scoreboard birthday listing and great gifts, or book your party in the Birthday Bash area. Call 414-902-4000. Do it now. The first, I don't know, 15 or 20 fans. Bill Schroeder will come out and actually sing happy birthday to you if we're not televising.
No, don't lie to everybody.
Raul Casanova leads things off.
Can you sing?
No.
Can you dance?
I don't sing. Oh, boy, can I not dance.
Do you play an instrument?
No. I really have no talents at all, actually.
Play golf?
No.
No?
I do play. I don't play well.
Okay.
Casanova swings through that one, 0-2 the count.
That's all part of getting to know you a little bit. This is what, our 4th, 5th broadcast?
I think so.
5th?
You know, and I think it's important for us to, get to know what we like to do for hobbies and things of that sort. Breaking ball, base hit into right field, and the Brewers a leadoff base runner, and that is something they've been looking forward to. They had one in the first, they had one in the third, but both erased. Young was thrown out trying to steal in the first inning, and Jose Hernandez walked, but then was erased on a double play. Matt Stairs, left-handed batter, will pinch hit for Nelson Figueroa. And Mr. Figueroa, thank you for your quality, an inning and a third with a pair of strikeouts and nothing else. 1 for 4 on the year for the former member of the Oakland A's and Chicago Cubs. Luis Vizcaino getting hot in the bullpen. Stairs takes outside. 1-0 the count. 4-0. The Brewers desperately looking to wake the bats up.
And you can tell that Davey Lopes is getting impatient with his offense, going to the bullpen in this situation. You figure if you go into the bullpen in the 6th inning, you're going to be eating up a lot of your relief pitchers.
Casanova thought about it, and a good job behind the plate there by Matheny.
So anytime you get a runner on base, particularly the way the Brewers have been swinging the bats, you take opportunities, use men off the bench to get some runs.
I wonder if Davey Lopes might not have been looking at the fact that Matt Stairs last year in 12 games against the Cardinals hit 4 home runs, and he drove in 7 as well. That big left-handed stroke in the dirt again, and again Casanova can't go anywhere.
Well, keep in mind that Garrett Stevenson coming off elbow surgery, and no telling how long he's going to be able to go. He spikes that fastball. Mike Matheny does a nice job keeping it in front of him, so I'm sure he's on a very strict pitch count. And down in the count to Matt Stairs, 3-0. Got to believe down by 4 he's got to be taking here.
All the way, and it's on the outside corner, 3-1. No one warming yet in the Cardinals bullpen, but a couple of pitchers have hopped up and are starting to move around a bit and get the blood flowing. Big hut, and he fouled that one off. Looks like it might have gotten a piece of the home plate umpire there, hopping around a bit. Joe Brickman.
And anytime you stand that far away from home plate, you're an easy target for foul tips. Watch Joe Brinkman. Well, looks like he got him on the inside of the leg, and Garrett Stevenson right now at 71 pitches. Just about what he threw his last time out.
Yes, it is. You figure you can add 10 to 15 more to that total.
At least.
So a little more in the tank. The right-hander has allowed just 2 hits as he works here in the 6th inning. Got him looking outside corner. Maybe the pitch of the night right there for Garrett Stevenson.
A 3-1 changeup that Matt Stairs got a piece of, and he took a little off the fastball Wasn't exactly a changeup, wasn't a fastball, something in between with some movement, and he catches the outside corner. And Joe Brinkman ringing him up. Now Joe is sitting a little bit closer to home plate than he has been. So my apologies to the home plate umpire.
Good curveball. That's a strike. You can see Joe behind the catcher there, Mike Matheny. Now, since Joe sets up, as you said, maybe a little bit further back, not as far, but he sets up inside, is it harder for him to see the outside corner?
And it's awfully hard for him to detect a pitch down around the knees the further back you are. Now he's back there a little bit. There's a lot of room between Brinkman and Matheny.
There's that outside corner right there. It was just off the plate, but is that a pitch right there that we just saw harder for him to see? I would guess so.
Well, perhaps, and you know, all umpires sit on the inside part of the corner, which is why it's more difficult for pitchers to get that inside corner. They see it so well. Maybe a little bit of guessing involved on the outside.
Young skies it, shallow right field. J.D. Drew runs a country mile and then runs out of room.
Yeah, but the further behind home plate you are, you know, talking about a catcher, not just an umpire, the more susceptible you are to getting hit with foul tip. Like catcher's mitt is further back, less chance that foul tip's going to hit you in the glove.
Are there any of the umpires now that use the big pad?
No, they can't use those anymore.
Now they all wear the chest protector under their top.
The balloon's gone, yeah. Not a lot of padding back there, is it?
Breaking ball over the head of Stevenson. It goes. That could be two. 6-3 double play. When you're throwing well and when you're living right, things seem to come together. And boy, they have tonight for Garrett Stevenson. Luis Vizcaíno takes the hill. Struggling in his earlier outing this season. There you see it. That was in Houston. He had to work a bit. 47 pitches through 2 innings. Allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. A couple of walks and a strikeout acquired from the Texas Rangers at the end of spring training. Pitched for the Oakland Athletics in a workmanlike role last year.
And he pitched mostly in short relief in 2001. 28 of his 36 appearances with the A's were 1 inning or less. So it looks like Vizcaíno is going to be allowed to pitch a couple of innings until that pitcher's spot appears again in the Brewer batting order. When you go to the bullpen in the 6th inning, that means a lot of your relievers are going to be in the ball game, particularly when you're down by 4 runs. Need offense.
Mike Matheny, Eli Marrero, then maybe a pinch hitter for the Cardinals. We roll things out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. Slow roller towards short. Hernandez surrounds the baseball, and on to first he goes. Well, Eli Marrero, we were very surprised about what he was able to do. Coming in, he was 8 for 11. He's just kept it up, Rock.
Yeah, he just can't make an out right now, and that's why Tony La Russa and Jose Oquendo have him in the ball game, sticking him out in left field. First time up, a couple of RBIs, led off with a base hit. He has been tearing the cover off the baseball. This is a guy that the Cardinals have been high on for quite some time.
Good fastball for a strike. It looks so funny. I don't care if you're in week 1 of the season or heading into week 2 to see 769 as a batting average.
Hey, that's a good 3-game bowling score, isn't it?
It's a good 8-game bowling score for me.
Bowling Hall of Fame right across the street from Busch Stadium.
Yeah, nice job, Craig Kashan. How many more places did you and he go today? Over at by the river?
I thought I was on a tour bus.
He was over at the Bowling Hall of Fame.
They had producers Walsh and Fours giving us the guided tour.
Big swing right there. Looked like he was going for Big Mac land. 1-2.
You know, the only difference between those two and a real tour may stop and feed you from time to time. I'm not eating so much as a soda. A little salty down there by the river.
Your attitude got salty, or it was salty?
A little bit both. You know, hopping over dead fish. You know, bottles.
Talking about my pitching again with dead fish.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Were there bottles actually down there?
Yeah. Imagine that.
Tell the truth, really?
By the river and railroad tracks, and there were bottles. That's first stuff. A couple of old campfires.
Just missed outside.
But I did notice there was cell phone service out there.
It worked. Fired mine up. No problems with the old Motorola out there.
That thing's, you can get cell service anywhere, huh?
Good service. I'm not afraid to use my cell phone.
Yeah.
Nor are you, though.
No.
Popped foul and out of play. 7 hits in the ball game. 2 of them belong to the Brewers. 5 of them to the Cardinals. Cardinals timely hitting, though. And this man a big part of it with a pair of RBIs. The Brewers with leadoff runners on several occasions. In the first, a leadoff runner in the third, a leadoff runner in the sixth, and all of those runners erased. Really never has gotten anything going offensively. Been able to move runners around, drive them in. Got him on a slider, and a good-looking slider at that.
Yeah, Vizcaino throwing the baseball pretty well as far as velocity goes. 92, 93 on the fastball, and a good slide piece off the outside corner. Eli Marrero, as hot as he's been, can't catch up to that one. It looked like a fastball out of the hand, and then it just darted away from him. Nice pitch.
Jose Cabrera came from the Braves in a trade, and then a few days after, Vizcaino came from the Rangers, and they're very similar in their stuff. Fastball in the low 90s, good sliders. On the outside, flat, good heat there. Vizcaino, the only difference, he throws a fork ball where Cabrera, the right-hander out of the pen, his mate, if you will, throws a changeup.
Yeah.
Another good fastball, and that's a souvenir. I can remember we've talked about Big Mac Land and Mark McGwire. I can remember broadcasting a game early in my broadcast career just a few years ago during the 70 home run season when Mark McGwire was ejected from a baseball game on a Saturday, and this place was out of control.
Yeah.
Slider got him looking outside corner. They're a lot more quiet here than they were on that Saturday. Been quiet for a couple of innings on both sides. 4-0 St. Louis. Our Oneida Bingo and Casino game summary. St. Louis leads it 4-0. Ruben Quevedo roughed up. Number 8 hitter Eli Marrero again doing his best Babe Ruth.
Yeah, out of the number 8 slot. Been doing a heck of a job driving in runs. Quevedo with some control problems, and that's Marrero right down the line for a 2-run double with 2 outs in the second inning. Then it's Albert Pujols driving in a run. Jeff Jenkins would throw out another would-be run. But it's been Garrett Stevenson in his second appearance after coming off the disabled list all season long. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, only a couple of base hits. Got to be happy with the way he's been throwing the baseball.
4-0. The Cardinals on top. 1 walk. There's the key. 2 hits. He was falling behind most of the Brewers hitters early. And the Brewers unable to capitalize. As we mentioned, those 3 leadoff base runners on 3 separate occasions. And all erased by the time the innings have been over. Whether it be a caught stealing or a pair of double plays. Ronnie Belliard would love to get the fire started against Stevenson. He takes a strike, 0-1 the count.
Remember, just because this guy doesn't throw hard does not mean that he doesn't know how to pitch. He was 16-9 for the Cardinals in the year 2000. So, you know, the velocity might not be the same as it was before, but he's certainly well aware of what he's got to do to be successful, and that's hit the corners. And he's been doing that all night.
Pitch down and away, and Belliard fights it off. Well, he's always been a strike thrower. Coming into action this season, 3 walks per 9 innings, 6 strikeouts per 9 innings. So that's what you like, 2-1 and a low walk total. He has a little bit of baseball in his blood too. Foul back to the screen. His dad Richard played in the Pirates organization, so one would imagine that baseball was a subject matter discussed a lot in the Stevenson house. So though he went to Rick's Junior College in Idaho on a basketball scholarship.
He's 6'5", why not? What's that, a point guard these days?
Probably. Water boy. Breaking ball just missed outside, which is the role I think at 6'5" I would have played.
You are 6'5".
And I would have played the water boy role.
You're hard on yourself.
Well hit center field. Jimmy Edmonds. It's over his head. And to the wall it goes. Belliard on his horse. Is he thinking about three? Wisely not. He stops at second. And another leadoff base runner for the Brewers. This time later in the game, they must capitalize.
Yeah, and that's going to get some activity stirring out in that Cardinal bullpen. But Jim Edmonds frozen on that one. Boy, Ron Belliard giving that one a good ride right at Jim Edmonds, and that's the toughest play for an outfielder to judge. That one right over his head. Bounds off the wall and down by 4 runs in the 7th inning. You don't want to be making any outs on the bases, so wisely, as you mentioned, Belliard stops at second.
He did lock up for a moment. You always think about that catch he made with the Angels in Kansas City off a drive by David Howard back in '97. I thought we might see it again, but he froze for just a minute. Hammonds off the end of the bat. A little number, and that's foul. The first Milwaukee Brewer in scoring position tonight. And Hammonds with that .333 clip despite being 0 for 2 tonight. Right into the heart of the order it goes. Hammond, Sexton, Jenkins, and Ochoa. Double barrel action for the Cardinals. Fastball almost hit him.
And that's the first man in scoring position in 2 games for the Milwaukee Brewers, because they did not have a man in scoring position the entire day against Curt Schilling. That was on Sunday.
Line drive, base hit into left field. That finds the hole. Belliard will advance 90 feet. Now the Brewers making some noise. First and third, nobody out, and the boppers coming up, Sexton and Jenkins.
And you got to like your chances, and hopefully Cardinals didn't have time to get that bullpen going. They just got up. Maybe a couple of more hitters for Garrett Stevenson. Well, and as we mentioned, Mike Matheny is going to go out and talk, perhaps to give that bullpen some time to get loose.
The right-hander is Gene Steckschulte. The left-hander is Mike Matthews. Steckschulte and Matthews warming quickly. Look at those boys go in the bullpen.
I would imagine that Dave Duncan, who is handling the pitching staff tonight in the absence of Tony La Russa, wants to get that left-hander as much time as possible to face Jenkins, who's on deck. Do not know, or not sure how long it takes Steckschulte to get loose, but I'd be surprised if he's able to get loose in time for Richie. But he is.
Took the baseball right away from him. Did not make that motion to the bullpen. Has been told to do it early coming out of the dugout. May have bought him a few more warm-up pitches. The Brewers mounting a rally. A good job by that man. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, where the best part is our people. And by Oneida Bingo Casino. Now there's entertainment.
Well, we were down there, one of the gambling boats, and we were down there. We saw bottles, saw sticks, dead fish, rocks, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of an interesting experience over there on the East St. Louis riverbank.
Glad to have you back with us at Mrs. Swenson's 3rd grade art class as we continue on. 4-0, the Cardinals on top of the Brewers. Gene Steckschulte. Say that 5 times fast. The new right-hander is on. 28 years old, and there you see what he did Sunday against the Astros in 15 pitches. One of the long guys out of the pen.
He's made 3 appearances, 5 innings in all, giving up only 3 hits. Opposition batting a paltry 176 against Steckschulte. He doesn't throw as hard as it may appear. Another big, tall right-hander for the Cardinals. It doesn't throw all that hard. A good sinker and a slider for Steckschulte.
They say that slider is his go-to pitch. And you know, with the sinker, he's thinking, I'll give up a run and get the double play, but if I can get to a strikeout, I'll use my slider against Richie Sexton. The Brewers really desperately seeking some noise on the scoreboard. Runners on first and third. There's Belliard. There's Hammonds. Richie Sexson into the box. It's the top of the 7th. Bites that one off. Good running fastball. Strike 1.
Hey, good time for Richie to start getting hot. Richie off to his customary slow April start for Milwaukee. Of course, his entire career has been slow starts in the first half and red hot in the second half.
Swing and a miss right at him with a fastball there. Richie may have just opened up a bit early. That's a pitch I think he would tell you he can drive.
Yeah, you saw the frustration in his face after that ball got by him and said, how did I miss that? I was looking in there, I pulled the hands in and just flat missed it.
.232 career hitter in April. There's that slider. He went for the strikeout. Just a piece of it by Sexson. Career in May, it gets a bit better. .257 in June, .283. Once you get to August, it's a .318.
Yeah, he had a heck of a September too, last year.
Slider lined into left center field. That's down for a base hit. And the Brewers are on the scoreboard. And great 2-strike hitting right there by Richie Sexson. Maybe that will get him started.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good pitch by Stexschulte. He went with a slider. He hung that one that time. And credit Richie Sexson for shortening up that stroke just a little bit, thinking center field. Matheny wants it down and away. Watch where it ends up. Out over the plate, and Richie keeps the hands back. Good piece of hitting by Richie with 2 strikes and an RBI single for the Brewers' first baseman.
Dave Duncan again making that long walk to the mound. This time he has already made the motion to the bullpen. A left-hander was warming. And it looks like Mike Matthews will come on and replace Stexschulte, who faces just one batter. Well, it's good work if you can get it, but it's even better work if you can get that one batter out. The Brewers coming back. The Brewers finally on the scoreboard, and Bill Schroeder, Richie Sexson, a big reason.
Well, the ball's going to be in this area right here, and what you're going to see is Richie Sexson's front shoulder and his foot going right at the pitcher, and as that point of contact becomes on the outside part of the plate. Now watch the 2 areas, the shoulder and the feet going right at Stexschulte, and that's why he's able to cover that outside part of the plate. That's why he got the base hit, and good extension, head down, good piece of hitting by Richie Sexson.
As you take a second look at that slider, not really a bad pitch, was it?
Well, he got it up. Richie obviously looking out there, and that's when the hitter is looking away, even a decent pitch is going to be hit hard.
Well, with that plate coverage, you said everything. Everything was on line to where it should be. The left-hander is on. It's Mike Matthews.
Yeah, one of 2 left-handers out in that bullpen for Tony La Russa. In this case, Dave Duncan tonight. The other one, Steve Klein, who throws in about 80 to 90 games a year. A little bit early for him, though.
Runners on first and second, still nobody out. Jenkins bunting and hung out to dry at second base is Hammonds, and he just gets back in time. He was nearly halfway to third, and Jeff Jenkins asked to bunt there. Can't get it down.
Well, Jeff not swinging the bat all that well, and that's a tough play for a guy at second base. He wants to get a good jump. Get that ball down, you beat the throw by a split second. If you bunt right through that baseball, that's what you're susceptible to. You're leaning toward third base. A guy like Matheny will try and pick you off.
Bunting again, and he takes outside. They appeal, and he did not hold that bat out for a strike, says third base umpire Andrew Fletcher. Gary Allenson and Jeff Jenkins will have a talk here. I think Jeff may be saying, are you sure I'm being asked to bunt in this situation?
It hasn't been too often that Jeff's been up there and saw the bunt sign, so we want to make sure. Is that the bunt sign? I've never seen it before. If you're not sure, yeah, call timeout, walk down there and talk to the third base coach. Too important of a situation to not know what to do.
Well, now he's drawn the infield in on the corner, so he has more room to work with should they swing away. Martinez and Pujols at first and third are on the grass now and charging. And he's swinging. Fouling it off. I'm sure a big gulp right there by Tino Martinez.
It's a lonely feeling being in that close with a guy like Jenkins swinging away. But Davey Lopes would love to advance these base runners for 2 right-handers coming up in Ochoa and Hernandez. But you know what Dave Duncan's idea is? You get one batter out of Matthews, they go to your bullpen again.
Big breaking ball, hammered to right center field. It's down for a base hit. Here comes Hammonds. He will score. Sexton stops at third, and that is so much better than a bunt. The Brewers within 2, Cardinals 4, Milwaukee a pair.
Well, just like Richie Sexton, Jeff Jenkins hanging in there on that breaking ball. A 1-2 pitch up in the zone, a mistake by Mike Matthews, and Jenkins made him pay for it. That was right down the middle. And Jenkins centers on it, makes sure that baseball's back in the zone. Finds a gap, gets a double, and the Brewers with the tying run at second base. Now, mind you, the Brewers entered this inning not having a man at second base all night.
How would you like to make another pitching change? You pretty excited about that?
I knew it was happening. No surprise.
St. Louis on top of Milwaukee by a score of 4-2. Ring, ring, ring. Here comes another hurler. Clutch at bats, back-to-back by Sexton and Jenkins, and Jeff Jenkins a big swing here.
Yeah, same thing with Sexton. The front shoulder's going to drive this way. Front foot's going to come this way, keeping himself closed, and then at the point of contact, these hips rotate, clearing the hands, making that bat much quicker. Watch the hips pop open, and that brings the bat through as quick as it can with the hands. Now watch the hips pop open. You see the left hip right now as you look at it, and in a splash in a second it's gone. The point of contact right in that area. If he hits that ball out in here, it's just a weak ground ball to first base.
Runners on second and third. The tying run at second. Dave Beers, the right-hander, on from the bullpen. 3 appearances, has not been scored upon this season. Alex Ochoa, righty against righty. And the breaking ball nails the inside part of the plate. Looked like that split-fingered fastball, actually. That's one of his specialties.
And 1 1/3. He hasn't given up a run. Or I should say, against the Astros on Sunday, he walked a batter. He was a closer for part of the year last year. Had a lot of troubles. Good fastball and a splitter.
There's that splitter. It runs in. You can see when it's a split-fingered fastball, it moves down and in. It's still hard, but down and into a right-handed batter.
Early in the count when he used it, he doesn't throw it as hard as he does with the 2-strike forkball.
Nobody out. Off the end of the bat, foul ball. A good one low there. Obviously, you're thinking put it in play now with 2 strikes, specifically maybe in the air.
Now, before he had 2 strikes on him, a very good play in this situation. Second and third, nobody out. A push bunt towards second base. What that does is it scores Sexton and allows Jenkins to go over to third base with less than 2 outs. That is if he gets thrown out.
Ochoa 1 for 2 tonight. Runners off second and third. Outside, 2-2. Well, it took the Brewers a long time to get a runner in scoring position here in the 7th inning. Since then, they're 3 for 3 with a double and a pair of RBIs with runners in scoring position. That man came through, as did Richie Sexton at third. Fouled off, just got a piece of it. Milwaukee has now out-hit the Cardinals 6-5. And give a lot of credit as we sit here to the Brewers bullpen. Nelson Figueroa and Luis Vizcaíno stopping the Cards after a tough outing for Ruben Quevedo. 2-2 hard ground ball, fair ball and into the left field corner, and the Brewers have tied this baseball game. Look at Alex Ochoa run. He thinks about a triple and comes up clapping his hands on second base. Milwaukee for St. Louis for, oh my, Ochoa.
And the Brewers 4 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this inning. Ochoa staying right on the baseball. Another splitter up in the zone, and he tucks it inside the left field line. Boy, a good piece of hitting. Again, those hips open up, bringing that bat head through the zone and scoring 2 runs. Boy, Alex Ochoa, his career numbers against the St. Louis Cardinals better than any other team that he plays against. A batting average better than .360 against St. Louis.
Just pounded it hard into the ground, and it had life down that line. Slow roller toward third. Pujols, and it gets by everyone. And Ochoa hustles very smartly to third base. Sometimes you need a break on the back end of all the offense. That's a break there. Pujols just never looked right.
Well, that's got to go down as a base hit because, well, it's going to be an error. Error on Pujols. It looked like it went off his glove. He might have been peeking over to look at Alex Ochoa at second base. Goes off of his glove. So the Brewers again get a break. That's ordinarily a ball that the official scorer perhaps might give him the benefit of the doubt off the fingers of the glove. Don't be surprised they don't change that after looking at it again. I've seen much worse plays scored base hits.
Runners on first and third, still nobody out. Casanova, it's a high fly ball right field. That should get another run in. Drew makes the catch. Hustling home safely is Alex Ochoa, and the Brewers have come all the way back and taken a 5-4 lead. What a job here in the seventh by the Brew Crew.
Well, and credit Garrett Stevenson with 2 of those earned runs. Steckschulte with 1. Matthews with 1. See Alex with good speed, able to score with no problem. So the error by Pujols really setting up the Brewers to take the lead.
Tyler Houston, number 2 in his back, grabs a bat, and he will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot for Luis Vizcaino. A lot of moves to the bullpen, so they'll go with the righty now, and Beers will continue on against Houston. Strike on the outside corner.
You know, the Cardinals used 3 pitchers or 4 pitchers in this inning, including Stevenson, and I would imagine that Garrett Stevenson and Gene Steckschulte could have accomplished the same thing as the other 2 guys did. They like to go through the bullpen here in St. Louis, don't they?
That's a Tony La Russa style, and it always has been. On the inside corner, 0-2. Sometimes it works. A lot of the times it works for Tony, and then other times when it doesn't, you notice how slow the game is. That's usually what happens. Runner on first base for the Brewers. A 5-run 7th inning if you're just joining us. And it was like someone immediately breathed life into the Brewers bats, and they're really alive. Houston to the middle of the infield. This could be 2. Vigna, Renteria, double play. Nonetheless, a very, very big inning for the Milwaukee Brewers. Cheerleader Lenny Harris encouraging all of his mates. An outstanding job. A 5-run inning. Milwaukee on top of St. Louis. A 5-run 7th inning, 5-4, and the numbers for Brewers fans are very likable. And now the bullpen that has done a great job. Figueroa, Vizcaino, now the baseball, or the torch if you will, handed off to Takahito Nomura, the Japanese native and the left-hander. Pitched very well a couple of days ago against the Diamondbacks after Ben Sheets. 1 scoreless inning, a pair of Ks. Roughed up in another outing earlier, so his ERA at an even 9. 3 appearances, 3 innings, 3 runs allowed. Left-hander had a great spring training. He was 2-1 with a 1.93 ERA in his first ever Major League spring training.
Yeah, the key to his success this year is going to be his command of that slider. He had trouble with it a couple of outings. Last time out against the Diamondbacks, he had that slider going down and away to the lefties and having some success with 2 strikeouts. The only left-hander available to Davey Lopes out in that bullpen until Ray King comes back from the disabled list. Predominantly left-handed hitting power for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fernando Vigna takes a strike on the outside corner. Good fastball there. Vigna turned around. A couple of questions for home plate umpire Joe Brinkman. Even surprised, I think, because Nomura's a guy who's small in stature, and he'll bring it up there first couple of pitches. I think most will be surprised.
Yeah, not very tall, and he hides the ball very well with his body, which makes that baseball appear much quicker. Can't pick the ball up very well, and that's what fools the hitters.
Well, Lopes has a lot of confidence in this left-hander because this is what happened last year when you talk about offense, an offense that outstanding, and that's this year actually. 298 as a team. As we take a look at our Potawatomi Bingo and Casino Power performers, you see Houston, St. Louis, and Montreal.
That's the surprise on that list.
The Cards have been tough. Center field. There it goes, and Jeffrey Hammonds, there he goes, and he's right under it, 1 out.
The other surprise on that list, one that's not on there, the Colorado Rockies, each and every year up amongst the first 3 in team batting average. They'll be there before it's all over, I'd imagine.
As they always are. You're looking at a man that spent 10 seasons in the Japanese League prior to joining the Brewers. 3.11 career ERA pitching professionally in the Japanese League. Edgar Renteria takes a pitch that I'm not sure where it missed. Ball 1. 28,488 baseball fans here in St. Louis have attended this game. 28,488. High with a fastball, 2-0. Do you keep track of attendance? Is that something you mark in your book?
I keep it on the books, but really don't go back to it at all.
You know, it's something that really...
But you put it down, right?
Down. I guess I have it. I don't really know why.
In case you want to
mention it again.
Mention it on the close or what have you.
That's on the inside corner. Renteria stepping out over the plate to take a look. I'm not sure where 2 of those pitches have missed. 2 and 1. Make it 3 and 1 now. I'm not sure where 2 of the last 3 have missed. They look like strikes on the outside corner.
Major League Baseball wants more strikes called, right?
No, not this inning. That's a ball. Renteria with 1 out is a walk. Well, it's Spring Madness at Miller Park on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. All terrace-level seats are half price. Hot dogs and small sodas are $1. Figure that out. Parking is free in the general lots for cars arriving an hour and a half prior to the ball game. Call 414-902-4000 for tickets. So you get hot dogs and sodas for $1?
It's awesome. Spring Madness. Each and every year at Miller Park.
J.D. Drew takes high and inside.
That's first base runner allowed by the Brewer bullpen in this ball game.
That's exactly right. We are on the same page a lot.
Is that what you were
say the same thing. And that's why Casanova got out there quickly, wanted to quickly reel in Takahito Nomura. It's a 1-run ball game. Davey Lopes was talking at length about this left-hander and how, in the absence of Ray King, who was on the disabled list, Nomura will be seeing a lion's share of the action. He is the lone lefty, but he's going to work him a lot. That one's on the outside corner.
Well, Japanese pitchers have always been known for their dedication and their training, their durability. Nomura, as you mentioned, a 10-year veteran. All of his appearances out of the bullpen in Japan. Well, he's used to getting a lot of work.
Davey also said this is the time in the baseball game he wants to be able to go to Nomura. He hopes to have either a starter or the rest of his bullpen get him here. Because as you said, or as he said, and you've said it before, you waste your bullets early if you bring him in earlier in the game. Down the right field line. Foul ball.
Well, the Brewers really don't have the luxury of using too many pitchers too early in games. That's why the mentality of Brewers starting pitching staff is 6 or 7. Brewers have 6 relievers in the bullpen as opposed to the Cardinals 8. Cardinals have 8 relief pitchers out there.
Skied again toward that right field corner, and running out of room is Alex Ochoa.
And Nomura really likes to go with that slider to those left-handed hitters. A couple in a row. Drew has pulled foul, so Nomura getting his slider up in the zone. Casanova probably going out there saying, hey, it's 1 and 2. How about bouncing one? I can block it.
And Nomura saying, I don't speak either one of the languages you do, so what did you say?
That's right.
He travels an interpreter with him. He's on the planes with us and travels with us, but not allowed in the dugout or the bullpen. Again, a pitch that I think was a good pitch and not sure where it missed.
And Nomura giving a long look in there to Joe Brinkman. I would imagine with Casanova with his back to Brinkman, asking him, where was that? That looked like a good pitch. That wasn't low. That wasn't on the corner.
Little looper, very shallow left center. Who wants it? Jenkins racing, still coming, makes the play. Makes an unwise throw to first there, and Richie Sexton saves his bacon. Renteria only about a step or two off the bag, but he thought the momentum might carry him into a double play.
Yeah, that was a slider in pretty good location that time, down and away, and J.D. Drew got it off the end of the bat.
Dave Stewart making the walk out to the mound. Now, more likely than not, Stu does not usually make pitching changes. It's Davey Lopes that has that duty, and again, I just think this is a challenge here as this gentleman learns the language. You have to keep it as simple can be.
Yeah, I really don't think that the Brewers have the luxury of taking Nomura out and bringing in a right-hander, because after Pujols, you've got Edmonds and Martinez, followed by a couple of right-handed hitters. He would love to be able to get through Pujols, Edmonds, and Martinez, then go to the bullpen, bring in Dejan or Cabrera. Got to have Nomura in there for the two lefties after Pujols, so he's going to stick around.
The great thing, we're talking about language barriers, the great thing about Takahito Nomura's translator when he is around, his translator speaks both Japanese, English, and Spanish. So if something is said in Spanish by a coach or a teammate, he can translate from Spanish right to Japanese. But this gentleman is still, I mean, he's brand new. He's learning the language. So meetings like that on the mound will be for a while a challenge.
Yeah.
Ronnie Belliard maybe knows some Japanese
Yeah,
words.
I'd like to know what Ronnie Belliard had to say to him over there.
Hooters at the hotel after the game. Outside 1-0 to Albert Pujols. It's just tough to talk is the bottom line. Outside, and I think they made it very clear to him to pitch around Albert Pujols.
Yeah, don't walk him, but don't give him anything to hit. Heard that before. You're asking for trouble by walking this guy to get to Jim Edmonds. He can hit lefties.
Well, they will be walking him. They may give the last ball. Nope. Casanova will squat down. I thought they might officially pass him here intentionally. Ball 4, and unintentional intentional walk. So the language was very clear. He understood what to do. They made it clear enough, and Nomura just pitched right around the dangerous Pujols. He faces another dangerous hitter in Jim Edmonds.
The danger that you subject yourself to is you've got the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run on base now, and a bona fide RBI guy at the plate. Because he's left-handed doesn't mean you're going to be able to get him out.
His average does drop against lefties in his career, about 50 points, but still a .258 hitter against left-handers, .307 against righties.
And he's 3 for 8 this year against lefties, so he's
zoning in even more.
He's fine.
Inside, ball 1. An intentional walk, a fly out to center field, and a strikeout for Edmonds. A 5-run 7th inning, and the Brewers have reclaimed the lead here in St. Louis. They were down 4-0 for what seemed like forever while the bats were quiet. Slider low and inside.
You know, the other danger that you have is when you pitch around a hitter and intensely throw pitches off the plate, sometimes you forget how to throw strikes.
Very good point.
You know that. You pitched a lot more than I did.
But I never threw strikes, even when I tried. Good slider there. Edmonds just baffled by it.
You see Nomura a little bit upset with himself, snapping that ball in the glove. He gets that ball and gets rid of it, doesn't he? He doesn't mess around.
Fastball low, 3-1. Tino Martinez waits on deck. It doesn't get any easier. That's another left-handed hitter who succeeds against left-handed pitching. There's Tino.
And if he walks Edmonds, he doesn't have anywhere to put Martinez.
3-1 low, ball 4. Frying pan or fire. You pick your poison. Here comes the fire. 3 walks in the inning. These Cardinal fans get behind the man they called Bam Bam in college. He's not Big Mac, but he's also hit 9 career grand slams. Inside, ball 1.
And Nomura rushing himself now, and we talked about the intentional walk to Pujols. 4 straight pitches out of the zone. He's having a tough time zeroing in again.
They chant his name. Nomura just looking to get out of it. The 1-0. Outside, ball 2. And Takahita again will go for another walk.
Be a good time for Casanova to go out there, but as you said, there's not a whole lot that they can say to each other.
Well, you wish you could. Bases loaded. 2-0. Ball 3. This will be the last batter he faces. Cabrera ready in the bullpen. It will either be an out or Cabrera will face Matheny. Tie ball game.
Oh boy, what was that? My oh my. Joe Brinkman has forgotten how to call a strike. I understand that Nomura's not around the plate.
Davey Lopes adamant about that point that you're making.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that pitch was almost down the middle. Well, as we said a number of times, if a pitcher's not around the plate, umpires aren't going to help him out with marginal pitches. That apparently was marginal.
Call to the bullpen has been made. A tough pitch. Baseball game. 4 walks in the inning by a dejected left-hander now anyway, Takahito Nomura. A bases loaded walk to Tito Martinez has tied this baseball game up. And there was a pitch we were talking about at the end, but here's the entire walk.
Oh, no doubt that ball was out of the strike zone. That looked like a pretty good pitch. That's the one we were talking about, but 8 walks in the night for the Brewers. 4 of them have scored. 3 of them are still out on the bases.
Jose Cabrera is on the mound, the right-hander. And Kerry Robinson, St. Louis born and raised, will pinch hit for Mike Matheny. Kerry Robinson. Bases loaded. Left-handed batter, Cabrera, a righty. Fires at home and it misses outside. 1-0.
Cardinals also have the luxury of 2 catchers besides Matheny. Marrero can catch and Mike DeFelice is a catcher.
High and inside. Ball 2.
Like a bad dream.
3 consecutive walks, 4 in the inning, and a new pitcher keeping pace with throwing balls. Cabrera wants to find the strike zone quickly. On the outside corner, 2-1. Jose Cabrera, like Luis Vizcaíno, as we mentioned, a hard thrower, good run on the fastball, and a good slider. Good changeup as well. Lefty waves that bat around, hovers over the plate. Fouled off, 2-2. Now might be a good time for one of those knee-buckling changeups.
No, you don't want to mess around with off speed to a guy like Kerry Robinson. Robinson, a guy known for slapping the baseball, just trying to make contact.
So that speeds up his bat test.
It speeds up his bat, and what you want to do is stay hard in on his hands. Make sure you don't hit him, though.
Let's see what happens. 2-2, bases loaded, tie ball game, 2 outs. They set up away. Swing and a miss, he got him. It was the heat, though, 91 miles an hour. And this tough inning comes to an end 4 walks, tie ball game. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Wisconsin Lottery and by Colt Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. Couple of changes here to tell you about as we move into the 8th inning of baseball. Out in left field now is Kerry Robinson. He pinch hit for the catcher, Mike Matheny, and Eli Marrero moves from left field to behind the plate. That's the luxury you spoke of.
When you have 3 catchers and you've got a couple of guys that can play just about anywhere, you can do that kind of stuff. And that's why they do have 3 catchers. They know that Mike Matheny is going to be pinch hit for late in the ball game. You've got to have that flexibility. You don't have that with just 2 catchers.
Dave Veers back out there on the mound. Now the question is, who will blink first? It's almost like a new 2-inning ball game. 5-5 Milwaukee and St. Louis. Back to the top of the order for Eric Young. 0 for 2, hitting .087. And he squares the bunt, then takes strike 1. Hit by a pitch in the first, then was caught stealing. Grounded back to the mound and grounded into a double play. 2 for 23 out of the gates. Fouls that one off.
I think anybody's too worried about Eric Young. You know he's going to get his hits. He's going to get on base, steal his 30-plus. You'd like to see him start doing it now, though, wouldn't you?
Well, he too would like to.
Yep.
That's the key. He's busting his tail every day. As he hits a slow roll to the third, Pujols gobbles that one up and across the diamond it goes. Well, this weekend, the world's best car drivers racing for glory in the running of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. It's the 28th. Paul Tracy, Jim V. Vassar, Michael Andretti try to end Cristiano Damata's 3-race win streak. Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach this weekend on Fox. You'd look good driving one of those cars.
Yes, I would.
Little convertible.
Grand Prix car?
I just think you would.
That is a convertible, isn't it? Of course, it's not a convertible because it doesn't have a top on it ever, does it?
No.
They don't run in the rain.
No, I guess they don't. That wouldn't be very safe, would it?
No.
I mean, I'm going out on a limb when I say that, but
They don't have any tread on it.
that's
The
true.
tires.
That's true. Ronnie Belliard grounds that one, and it's a backhanded play by Pujols. Sets himself, throws, safe. And a clap of the hands there by Ronnie Belliard as he legs that one out. Pujols, they always worry about being a liability at third. He's looked pretty good on the first couple of chances here.
Yeah, he made a lot of errors over at third base early in the season, so Tony La Russa moved him around left field, first base. Able to get to it, but bounced the throw. I don't think it might have. Didn't matter. Gino Martinez picked it, but Ron Belliard with a 1-out single.
Well, for someone who's a liability defensively, he was wise. You saw him set his feet there and at least got it across the diamond in some sort of an order. Runner on first and Belliard. Jeffrey Hammonds takes a ball high and outside. 1-0 the count. It was Belliard who doubled in the 7th to lead things off. Then Hammonds singled. Sexton singled, scored a run. Jenkins doubled in a run. Ochoa doubled in a pair. And the Brewers were in business. Raul Casanova, a sac fly for the 5th run.
And this is where you would really love to see Dave Veers spike one of those split-fingered fastballs, get Ronnie Belliard to second base in scoring position. Get a good secondary lead. If that ball bounces away at all, take off to second.
Inside, 2-0.
A secondary lead. I'm talking about after that pitcher has committed to go to home plate, take 2 or 3 crow hops towards second base. That ball's in the dirt, take off. You won't be able to make it if he's flat-footed.
There is that lead as he edges off the bag. Safe now. And as the pitch comes home, he bounces off a little bit more, as you talked about. There's a swing and a miss.
Here he's going to take his lead in this position, and once Veers delivers the baseball, he's going to hop out to here, get him a lot closer to second base. That's the secondary lead we're talking about.
Fouled back right below us. 2-2. Look at now Dave Collins, the first base coach, talking maybe on your subject as well, but just letting him know exactly what's going on. That man is a wealth of knowledge, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he's been very good at working with these base runners and getting leads, getting as much lead as they can. And you're supposed to get a lead that's big enough that you just barely get back when a pitcher throws back over. That means it's big enough.
Swing and a miss, he got him. Hammonds appeared to be looking for that splitter. Split-fingered fastball, that is, and the fastball went right by him.
Hey, looking for that off-speed pitch, and the pitcher rears back and gives you the high, hard one. It appears a lot quicker. Jeffrey trying to get on top of it, but just can't do it.
Richie Sexson singled and scored a run in the 7th inning. Oh, would a long ball be nice here. 2 outs, runner on first, 5-5 game. Way inside as that one runs high and tight. And the big man jackknifes out of the way.
Well, the defense positions itself for any given situation. 2 outs. The only thing that will score a run here is an extra base hit. That's why you see that St. Louis outfield so deep. Nothing over their heads. That's the defense. There's a lot of room in front of them, though.
Big cut, fouled back. They play deep, you're right, in the outfield, though the infield playing deep. And the outfield plays straight up. The infield playing him to pull more than the outfield.
On the ground, he has a tendency to pull it. Not very often do you see Richie Sexson hit a ground ball to second base. There's a lot of room between the hole and first and second. Straight up on the left side, you can see all that room on the right side of the infield.
Another big cut, fouls it off.
Man, when Richie goes the other way, it's usually in the air.
You'll see a lot of defenses now. You didn't see it even 10 years ago. They'll pull that complete shift where they put 3 defenders on either side of the pull field for the hitter and just dare them to hit it on the ground, which basically says, fine, if you want it, as long as you're taking your power away, that's fine. We'll give you a single.
That's right. We'll give you a push bunt if you want it.
Sure. Into the dirt. Good block by the left fielder, turned catcher. A catcher already, but gets some early work. Eli Marrero.
Catcher, left fielder, first baseman, back to catcher. It's a good job by Eli Marrero, and you can see there's a lot of room between his legs. Not exactly the greatest of technique, but it's not how, it's how many.
That's right.
That's the game of baseball.
Hey, did you ever find yourself out in a position and then called back to catch during a game?
I did not.
I would imagine that's not easy to get your mind into that mindset.
I did not play any outfield. I played some first base in my career, about 50 games.
But you just turn the switch on and think hitters, think pitch selection, all that.
Hey.
Suddenly, when you're out in left field, honestly, doing a little bit more daydreaming.
Yeah, well, I don't know. As a catcher, you're always a catcher. You're thinking about what I would call in this situation, but a lot of outfielders don't know what's being thrown. Can't see that far.
Got it. Went back up the ladder and struck out Hammonds and Sexson. I think both were looking for that fork ball. They both got fastballs. It's a 5-5 ball game. 5-5 baseball game, and it's getting late in the ball game and on the clock. It's been a good one. Excitement is building as Milwaukee plays host to the 2002 All-Star game. Be guaranteed the opportunity to purchase tickets to the 2002 All-Star Game and Home Run Derby with the season ticket package. For more info on tickets, call 414-902-4100 or hop on your computer and log on to MilwaukeeBrewers.com. Redbird, always entertaining. Fredbird, the Redbird, I should say. Are you a fan, or?
Yeah, I like the Redbird, of course. Who doesn't?
I know some who don't, but, you know, I'm in his fan club, I think.
I'm not big on, you know, Mr. Met, you know, baseball head.
I like baseball head.
Do you?
Yeah, I like baseball head a lot. Eli Marrero digs in. 2 for 3 and 714. Robust batting average on the season. Now the catcher for the Cardinals. Well, I love baseball head. I'm a big fan of the Philly Fanatic.
Oh, yeah. Philly Fanatic's great.
San Diego Chicken's a good mascot, though he's more of a corporate entity now than a mascot.
Yeah, he's not even around San Diego anymore.
They'll stop by for a fee.
They got the Padre runs around.
Now, is that a real priest, or is it actually a mascot?
Well, it's a mascot and a, fake head and body, and stuff like that. But then they got Dinger. I think he's out in Colorado, if I'm not
a big
mistaken.
fan. A dinosaur.
The Barney look-alike.
Don't like Dinger at all. Just missed outside. Boy, good-looking pitch there. But Fred Bird, he's up there. Baseball head's just so bad, he's good. That's why I like him. I mean, that's just an awful looking mascot. But it fits in Shea.
Okay.
On the ground, and when you're going good, you're going good. Marrero just threw his bat at that nasty pitch down and away. He's 3 for 4, and who knows where the average goes now.
And credit the Brewers' defense. Jerry Royster and the coaching staff aligned his defense. They had Alex Ochoa shaded all the way around toward the line. That's a beautiful piece of hitting by Eli Marrero. His 3rd hit of the ball game. This is ordinarily a double. Look where this ball is. Inside the line at first, and look at Ochoa. He's standing right there. Had Ochoa been playing anywhere over toward the right center field gap, that would have been a double at least.
Miguel Cairo, a good batman, good bat handler, not a power guy, will swing the bat. 0 for 3 this season with a pair of RBIs. Played a long time with the Devil Rays, and he's bunting right back to the mound. Cabrera slipped. Can he get it there? He does not. And on to third goes Eli Marrero.
There's something going on over there in that area. Remember, Quevedo slipped and fell and threw one away early in the ball game.
That I do.
And that was on Garrett Stevenson. Something about the 9-spot bunting in that spot. That's exactly the same spot that Quevedo slipped. Right here. Plants the foot. There it goes. And same identical throw. He spikes it in front of Eric Young. EY can't handle it. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
So instead of a runner on second with 1 out, runners on 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and one of the best contact hitters in the game digging in. There's Cairo. At 3rd, there's Marrero. And the man digging in, Fernando Vina. Infield comes in, outfield is shallow. Foul back.
And this is exactly the kind of a hitter you don't want to have up in this situation. A guy that lays the bat on the ball, doesn't strike out. Toughest in all of baseball to strike out the last couple of years. Brewers with the infield in, giving Fernando much better opportunity to find a hole in the infield.
Fly ball, right field. Ochoa's got a gun. There's the tag. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Casanova's beside himself.
Yeah, he missed him. That was a good call by Joe Brinkman, at least from this angle. Boy, what a gun by Alex Ochoa all the way on the fly. The ball beat him. It was up the line a little bit, and a good slide by Eli Marrero. There we go on the split screen. He waited long enough. Watch Ochoa. He winds up and sends a missile to home plate. Plenty of time up the line a little bit, and you can see it was clear that he missed the runner at home plate. Eli Marrero made it. A good slide going away from Casanova. And I think in his heart of hearts, Casanova knows that he missed him.
Runners on 1st and 2nd, 6-5. St. Louis leads it. Ball high, 1-0 the count. That reaction may have been more out of disappointment and frustration rather than arguing with the call. Check the base runner just on second base. Strike outside corner. 5 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors for the Brewers. 1 in this inning.
Boy,
6 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error.
The walks and the errors have absolutely killed the Brewers in this ball game.
8 walks, correct?
8 walks, 4 of them have scored. Two errors that have been committed have resulted in extending innings and allowing runs to score. The run in the 4th was unearned because of the error to the pitcher. And a run scored here in the 8th because of the error. Oh yeah, and the 8 walks.
That's a souvenir. A hard-earned souvenir. Just like Bill Schroeder in Tiger Stadium, he took that one right in the chest.
Can't believe he doesn't have a jacket on. A little chilly, isn't it?
It's a hardy man. He's hardy. Got him looking outside corner. Renteria was leaning out, taking a peek, and he knew it.
And now you walk J.D. Drew, perhaps in pitch to the right-hander, Albert Pujols. We'll see what the Brewers decide to do. Well, you go right after him. It looks like they're going to pitch to him.
Round ball, foul ball, almost a dangerous base hit there. Klein, Steve Klein, the left-hander, warming in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Everything all right with Jason Isringhausen?
I haven't heard anything that
indicates otherwise, huh?
Yeah, well, you got Jenkins leading off. You might want Klein to face Jenkins and then bring in Isringhausen. That would be typical, wouldn't it?
Just missed high and tight. Isringhausen not even warming. Unless he's ready to come in. Got him swinging over the top of that changeup. Good pitch there, 1-2.
Yeah, 83 miles an hour. He takes about 8 or 9 miles an hour off that changeup from his fastball. Hitter's way out in front. Very effective against both lefties and righties.
Fouled that one off. Cards by a run. Cabrera looking to stop it right there. The 1-2. Way outside. Now Jason Isringhausen has grabbed the baseball and he begins to warm in the bullpen. Klein may face Jenkins. High fly ball playable. Hernandez back up short is there. Cardinals come up with a big go-ahead run. The Brewers now have some work to do. St. Louis by a run. Last chance for the Brewers. 6-5 the score. Here's a look at what's on tap. Brought to you by our good friends with Miller Genuine Draft. Tomorrow, same time. And then in San Francisco, 3 televised games as the Brewers go head-to-head with the likes of Barry Bonds and the San Francisco Giants at Pac Bell, a beautiful ballpark. Join us for all 4, and we look forward to you joining us. Dave Duncan will be busy this inning, one would imagine. The pitching coach and probably co-acting manager. Tony La Russa is not with this club. He lost his father today, so he is down in Florida, spending time appropriately with his family. Polanco is now at third base, Placido Polanco. Steve Klein, the left-hander, is on. Oft used is Steve Klein, who was touched up the other day. Jenkins fights it off into left, and it's down for a base hit. On his way to second with a double, maybe more, and the Brewers in business.
Yes, indeed. And Steve Klein was in this ball game for one batter and unable to get Jenkins. So Jenkins, back-to-back base hits against left-handed pitching. Mike Matthews, he got a double. And now Steve Klein, Dave Duncan on his way to the mound. That's going to be it. Almost an identical swing that he took to get that RBI double back in the 7th inning. And the Brewers in business here in the 9th.
It is now time for the closer. Steve Klein couldn't get it done. It's off to Jason Isringhausen, and the Brewers are in business. Nobody on, or nobody out, I should say. A runner on second, and the Brewers rallying down by a run. From April 15th through the 19th, all residents of Milwaukee, Ozaki, Racine, Washington, and Waukesha counties are invited to take advantage of the 5-county Grand Slam ticket plan. All reserved seats are half price. You heard me correctly, half price, so pick some up. For tickets, call 414-902-4000, and we can only hope that those games for those fans will be as good as tonight's has been. Jason Isringhausen is on. You saw his teammate Steve Klein imploring him to pick him up. Klein giving up a double to Jeff Jenkins. He's out at second. Alex Ochoa digs into the box, and the Cardinals are smelling bunt big time. Way in at third is Polanco. Swing and a miss, no bunt there.
Well, he's just trying to serve one over toward the right side. Ochoa confident enough in his ability to try and drive one to the right side, whether it be trying to drive the run in or that ground ball to second base, anything to get Jenkins to third base.
Called strike, looked about 3 inches outside, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Right across the river from Brighton, Illinois. Grew up a Cardinals fan. Came as a free agent this winter. Got it. 96 miles an hour for Jason Isringhausen. And Jenkins still stands at second.
One of the best closers in the game last couple of years. There you see his career. 28, 29, 76 saves, and all of his saves have come lately. Last couple of years, he started out as a starting pitcher with the Mets. Had a lot of problems with injuries. One with Bill Pulsifer. Remember that group, the Mets young pitching staff going down with injury.
Alex Sanchez will pinch run. More speed in scoring position. Brewers down by 1. Jose Hernandez. Curveball strike.
Nothing but strikes.
We haven't even talked about that pitch yet. Pulls that knuckle back, throws what they call a spike curve, and it's just a hammer.
Right, straight down, and a good fastball with good velocity.
Give the A's credit. They developed this man into a closer. They decided to take a run at him and let him close. Runner on his way to third, a swing and a miss, to throw down. Stolen base. A stolen base.
Oh boy, does that take a lot of nerve, huh?
Wow.
He got a great jump, but a great throw by Eli Marrero. And look at Davey. He's got his head down thinking, oh my God.
He needs to go right over to the riverboats after this ball game because that's a gambler.
Oh, I wish I could have seen the reaction of Davey as he was taking off. But look at the throw by Marrero, right on the money, and Alex Sanchez just does beat it. Bingo. Good call over there, third base by Andrew Fletcher.
Fly ball ties it. Hernandez has got to put it in play. A man who strikes out a lot is charged with a big responsibility. The 0-2. Got him looking outside corner, and standing at third is Sanchez. 96 miles an hour he painted the black. And a pair of strikeouts. Last chance, Raul Casanova. 90 feet away is the tying run in speedy Alex Sanchez. Inside.
Well, Raul Casanova getting a big vote of confidence from his manager. He's been swinging the bat pretty well tonight. Couple of line drives, sacrifice fly. Needs a base hit right here. Look, one of those big curveballs to bounce in the dirt.
Strike one. A sea of red on their feet here at Busch Stadium. Not hard to be surprised. They've taken a liking to this young man, a local boy, if you will. One and two. Some calisthenics for Casanova. And the walk around the mound to pump up Isringhausen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third, 1-run game. Got it. With the runner on third, a pair of huge strikeouts for the closer, Jason Isringhausen. It was one heck of a ball game, but the Cardinals come out on top in a heartbreaker, 6-5.